Here's line bowling, tossed up, driven by Root for 4, through the offside. That's his half century on his home ground. An innings of defiance so far. After England's first innings travails, 52 not out, they're standing up all around Headingley, but a long job and a hard job still to do. And Joe Root is still there. He will resume this morning in half an hour here at Headingley. Good morning to you. The fourth day of the third Specsavers Test match. The possibility of a very special day. The probability of Australia retaining the Ashes. Just let me remind you of the equation. England need 203 more runs to win. Australia need 7 wickets. 3 results possible, not 4. It's not going to be a draw this game. 2 days left. It's a lovely sunny day at Headingley. It feels like a good batting day, Michael Vaughan. Good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning. The last 2 days have felt exactly the same. It's probably a little bit hotter today. I mean, just looking down at the pitch, you can hear the roller in the background. It still looks pretty good, but you can see that the sheen that was on it just a day or so ago, and that's gone. It won't have any pace in it at all. It's just, can England get over the 8 overs before the second new ball? I can't see how they can, they've got to lose maybe 1 in the first session, max, and then try and knock off 80 runs in the morning session and then give them 120 in the afternoon. It's not going to be easy, but you just never know. What I was really impressed with yesterday, England played with a lot of courage and a lot of discipline and just played test match cricket the right style. And if they can go out and do that again today, and just bat overs, bat time, you're looking at just over 200 runs. It's probably going to take 70 odd overs to get there. Just play with a huge amount of discipline like they did yesterday, and you just never know. But you look at the Australians just to our left warming up, and the 3 seamers are high class, and that second new ball will be the key. You feel that if they bowl like they have done, it's not going to be easy. The second new ball generally does pick up 1 or 2 wickets, and you feel Australia are clear favourites to win the game. But this ground has a history of doing silly things. Back in '81, Shea Hope a couple of years ago, I don't think we gave the West Indies any hope. Mark Butcher in 2001. So teams have chased down this kind of score at this venue, but it's going to take Joe Root, I think. I think it's going to take the England skipper to get a 150 plus and 1 or 2 nice partnerships with him.
What about Tim Payne, Australia's captain? How do you think he will be feeling in a situation like that this morning?
Well, he should be very controlled. I mean, his bowlers bowled well for him yesterday. England didn't get away. They didn't crash the ball to the boundary. I don't think it's the kind of pitch that you can do. I don't think there's enough pace in it to kind of be hitting the ball on the up. I think you've got to play with a great deal of discipline like Joe Root and Joe Denler did yesterday. And he'll be very controlled. He'll know that second new ball is just around the corner. I would think Pattinson and Nathan Lyon will probably start this morning up to that second new ball. And then it'll be Cummins and Hazlewood. And we've seen throughout the series, they don't bowl that many bad spells. I can't remember a really bad spell from Cummins. I can't remember a Hazlewood poor spell. So England's techniques and minds are going to have to be completely switched on to see off that second new ball.
Yeah. That Shea Hope Test match a couple of years ago was a funny game, was it? Because you were just expecting England to win the game, and they just didn't get out, and they actually won it very comfortably in the end by 5 wickets. Can you remember that pitch, and can you compare it with this pitch?
I think this is a little bit crustier now. I know we're on day 4, but that to me looks more like an old day 5 wicket. These pitches in the UK now are so dry. They're starting drier than I've ever seen, and it does look like a day 5 wicket. So 200 runs on the last day is always difficult, but funny things happen. I mean, you've just got to try and make sure that you give Australia, in particular the captain, that horrible feeling. That horrible feeling knowing that he could lose, and then it starts to get a bit edgy and he might start spreading the field. England have got to work the first hour so hard to make sure that they start asking Tim Payne a few questions. If they get to that stage, anything's possible. But we've been in these situations before where we're giving so much hope. We arrive on
2 days ago, in fact.
Well, correct. And also I remember at Adelaide, the last Ashes series, we arrived on that morning thinking 8 minute England can chase, and within 2 or 3 overs England lost 2 wickets and it was game over. Just try and make sure that England get themselves into the afternoon with a little bit of hope of winning the game, and the only way that you can do that is a huge amount of hard work in the morning session.
I should say hello to our ABC listeners in Australia. Could be well worth staying up for into the evening, into the night, with Australia on the verge of retaining the Ashes. Let's just check out the weather forecast. It's a lovely day. Let's just check out the weather forecast with Philip Avery.
Simon, thanks very much. Very good morning to you. I've got good news, certainly on the weather front. It's really not going to get in the way of play today. I think Michael already made the comment that it was feeling warmer there to start the day this morning. And I think that's going to be the case this afternoon. The temperature's well on into the 20s. I think we're going to be pushing 27, 28, something of that order. And what cloud there is going to be thin and high. The atmosphere should be as dry as a bone. So I think it is going to be the new ball that will be the biggest problem for England. I don't think it's going to start sort of swinging or anything like that to any great degree. That's the mockers on things, I know. So it's pretty much plain sailing on the weather front, and if you've got plans elsewhere across the British Isles today, it's pretty much the same sort of thing. I was quite interested that Michael made the point about the wickets look a lot drier to start with, because I was going to think, well, we're only on day 4 of a test match. Surely we're not talking about sort of day 5 Turner and all the rest of it. But it's very interesting to hear what he was saying about how dry the wicket does look, down to the weather in part. And so, you know, who knows? Lions could have a field day later on. Let's hope not.
OK, thanks very much, Philip. Sir Alistair Cook, good morning to you. So you're going out to bat at 11 o'clock, which you've done in quite a few circumstances, situations like that in the past. What are you thinking? What's your mindset?
Well, I thought we saw the mindset of Ben Stokes yesterday when he batted for that 40 minutes. It's like he knew the importance of him being here in the morning, and I think that importance of him and Joe Root getting through the new ball for England to have a chance is those two have got to do a lot of the work. So the mindset will be, I think, more of the same as yesterday, but they'll know the importance of getting in. It's and Michael Vaughan said about Adelaide when I think it was 160 we needed, and Hazelwood got routine in either the first or second over. I think he got 2 in there, and it's just gone. And that's kind of the knife edge England delivering on. The mindset will be determined, make Australia work really, really hard for the wickets. And there was a stage yesterday where Tim Payne had a deep point and a deep backward square leg, and runs started to flow a little bit. England need to get to that stage at some stage to put the pressure back on Australia. Then it all changes if they do get closer. Then it's going to be one of those days. I think if there's a partnership now to start with, there'll be ebbs and flows, and it could be really exciting.
Yeah, is it what sort of day is it for a fielding captain? I asked Michael that question. Well, you've not long ago were England captain. What's it like for being a fielding captain in a situation like that?
Yeah, pretty stressful. All of us here are saying you had to put the money on, you put it on Australia. So you'd think, I'd be fairly comfortable. I don't think you'd have slept that well last night. I mean, there are certain times in my career, Edgbaston and Trent Bridge in 2015, where we were a long way ahead of the game, but there were 6 or 7 down overnight, and we still had to bat again. But you just thought, what until they get a partnership of 120, 130? What if? You always think the worst case scenario. So he'll be nervous. He will be. He's got 3 good bowlers. I think they summed it up quite well last night when they said, I think Lavisham said, we built the pressure today and we'll get the rewards tomorrow, and that's what they'll be trying to do, to build the pressure on the scoreboard. If they can control the scoreboard, then they will feel like they're in the game.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it, Australia 7 balls away from victory, England are, like 360 balls away from victory. If you sort of break it down into those terms, you see the task ahead for England. I was speaking to Mike Atherton, excuse me, I was speaking to Mike Atherton just before we came on air, and I said, what percentage chance do you give England today? He said, I don't know, 25%. What do you think about that, Glenn?
Oh, if you think it's gone, it's the game's already over. But you'd rather be in Australia's situation than England's. But there's still hope. And like you said, for England to win this game, it's going to take a lot of time, big concerted effort, ball after ball, hour after hour. For Australia to win the game, it could happen very quickly. 2 or 3 quick wickets and it's all over. So. But from a bowling perspective, you've just got to keep in there. Keep hitting the right areas, stick to what you call the process, your plan, and not worry about the result. That will take care of itself. Stick to that. Don't go chasing wickets, because it's not a wicket where you can really blast teams out. But from a bowling perspective, from a batting perspective as well, I think everyone's just on edge at the moment. They just want to get started, and once that first ball's bowled, it's like, okay, we're in the game, let's focus and concentrate. But before then, the anticipation and everything else that goes beforehand is everyone's a bit on edge.
We're just a few yards away from the pitch. Do you see enough in that? If you had a new ball in your hand in 8 overs time, do you see enough in that pitch? Or even with an old ball, do you see enough in that pitch to say, 7 wickets today, not too much trouble?
Well, you never sort of take it for granted. You don't want to get complacent, but at the end of yesterday, there was just a hint of reverse swing, and there was still some moving off the seam. So if you get in that right area, when you've got a quality batsman like Joe Root, what's he, 60 odd at the moment, playing and missing towards the end of the day, there's still a little bit of hope there. So, the bowlers will be keen to get out there. That new ball has done something the whole match. I think it'll still do a bit today.
Yeah, actually, last night I thought that back of the length, which had been kissing through, had just lost that half a yard of pace. I disagree with Michael that all the pace is going to go out the wicket. It surprised me that it has maintained the pace here. Normally, Headingley, it does get a lot lower and slower, but we still saw balls, carrying through to Tim Payne at kind of above waist high. But just last night when Australia bowling, Ben Stokes was playing that back of length ball from Pat Cummins. I checked the speed, it was still high 80s, and he looked like he had that time. So I think it's just lost that edge, and if England can get that ball 20 overs old, the new ball 20 overs old, they've got a real chance. But we know how crucial this first 2 hours is.
Yeah, well, they've gutsed it out. Well, they didn't do that in the first innings, clearly. Bowled out for 67. They gutsed it out. It was Joe Root's partnership with Joe Denley that has given England just the outside chance of victory today. Denley made 50, his second half century in Test cricket, and afterwards he talked about that partnership.
It's always important to try and keep the Aussies quiet, especially their bowling attack is obviously a very powerful one, but it was tricky at times. Batting at the far end, I found the bounce a little bit inconsistent, so therefore just tried to duck and weave and sort of ride that out. I knew that they were going to come hard, but they couldn't run in all day and at that pace. So it was about grinding it out and trying to keep them coming back for more spells.
Yeah. Tell us about the 67 and how as a team you A, take that, and B, how you respond to that.
The 67...
All out.
Oh, I'd forgotten about it. Yeah, look, obviously we were disappointed, very disappointed, and it wasn't good enough. But it's about showing character and coming back in this second innings and showing a bit of fight. And we never doubt that we're out of this Test match. We believe, and ending the day as we have, we certainly believe if we get one or two more partnerships, we're well in with a shout. I rate our chances very highly. I think the pitch, there's not too many demons in it. We've made their bowlers come back for 2 second and third spells, and they're going to get tired, and that new ball's going to be tricky. And a few of our batters are due some runs. So look, hopefully we can start well. We'll be in a very good position.
Joe Denley sounding very confident, not too much in the pitch for the bowlers. How well did he play, Michael? Has he done enough to secure his place for the next Test match and the rest of the series?
Yeah, certainly to play in that fashion, show that amount of discipline, produce that partnership with Joe Root. He'll play the remaining 2 games of the series. He's played with discipline in this Test match. It's just that big drive that he keeps throwing out just from nowhere. The bowler will always dangle the carrot and try and offer that drive to Joe Denley. He fought really hard. I think he'll probably be waking up this morning kind of realise that it's a massive opportunity missed for him. You get to 50 against this kind of attack. It was a good ball that got him, but that short ball's becoming a real threat from this Australian team to all the England players. It's been a series where on both sides we're seeing so many batsmen get hit because of the pace, because of the quality. So we'll be disappointed that he couldn't make it really count, because at Test match level it's so hard to get in that once you get in, you've got to make sure it's the day that you go and get the big score to really establish yourself in the team for a while. 50s, do they pay the mortgage? Yes, just for a month or two, but only for a month or two.
Yeah. We've talked a lot about the pace bowlers. What about Nathan Lyon's role today?
Yeah, his job will be to try and keep it tight from the end, obviously in part of a 4-man attack. And I think the England guys played him pretty well, actually. There is a bit of turnout there. We saw a couple of half reviews, and then they went for the final one. It was missing leg from over the wicket to I think it was Joe Root, wasn't it? And he actually missed leg by quite a lot. It is spinning, but it's spinning quite slowly. So he'll be a threat to the left-handers. I think he'll start this morning against Ben Stokes. He's a quality bowler. They're a quality attack, so it's going to be a real battle.
Yep, England have battled away. They've taken Australia into the 4th day. We've been speaking to Travis Head this morning, actually, and asked him whether he still expected to be here today.
credit to England. They played pretty well. Yes, that was a good day of cricket. I think the wickets, obviously the sun's out and the wickets have got better. We knew that coming into the day it was going to be tough and not quite as easy as what it was as we probably made it look on day 2. So, no, credit to England. They batted really well. I thought we bowled really well. We've contained exceptionally well. We haven't let them get away. So, a big morning session this morning.
Yeah, and presumably you're looking 8 overs into the new ball.
Yeah, well, hopefully we start really well. If we can get a wicket or 2 before, that'd be fantastic. If not, we know, we've got the new ball around the corner. We used it exceptionally well in the first innings. We used it really well in the second innings. So it's about making sure we continue our plans. I thought we bowled exceptionally well yesterday. And we just didn't get the wickets, so that's okay. I think that happened to Edgbaston in the first innings. You look at the first test, England batted exceptionally well for a day, 4 or 5 down, and we were able to come out and break the game really open the next day because of the pressure that we built in the day before. So nothing changes, same again.
How well balanced do you think these two sides are on the whole?
Yeah, I think both teams, obviously their bowlings have been their strength so far. I think we knew that coming into the series it was about making enough runs to try to give ourselves the best opportunity to win the test matches. So I think we've been able to do that. We've been able to do that in this test match. I think we've got enough runs. We've got to make sure that we continue our process and drag it right out. We've still got 200 runs to play with, and yesterday, as we've seen the way we bowled, they were quite hard to come by runs. So I think we're in a great position. We've just got to make sure we can stay really calm and consistent.
I should ask you how you are, because you weren't very well for a couple of days, were you?
Yeah, I was no good the first couple of days, but no real excuse about that. So
what was wrong?
I don't know. No, not before the test. This was a bit crook, so not ideal. But we pushed on, and I felt really good on day 1. I woke up in the morning and was fine. So lost my voice a little bit, but feeling pretty good now.
Yeah, well, you're looking a lot better. You're sounding a lot better than you were a couple of days ago, I think.
Yeah, that's the plan. I'll get better as it goes on. But it was rough going the first couple of days, but find a way to get through it.
How do you find playing here at Headingley when the crowd yesterday when you were in the field were pretty lively, weren't they? Yeah,
it's all good. I had the opportunity to play here a couple of years ago, so playing for Yorkshire was a lot better than playing against England, but they were friendly out there. It was good banter out there. I think Josh was down there for most of the day and loved it. He said it was really enjoyable. They were just good fun to have, so it's always a lively crowd. I guess they found their tune a little bit more yesterday with England having a better day, so that was nice for the game to get the crowd involved.
The bottom line is that you could easily end up maybe middle of this afternoon with the Ashes retained. What would that mean?
Yeah, well, this is what we come to do, and these are the days you want to rock up and play well, and I guess the build-up and what we've worked on has come down to this and the last couple of days. So, again, it's not changing anything. It's not changing what we've done. We've had opportunities, I think, in the series to press, and then probably looking at last week, we had a great opportunity and England played really well. So it's the same again. We know how good they can be, and it's about making sure we stick to our process and not look too far ahead. Look to the morning session, have a really good first hour. Hopefully that sets us up to what could be an amazing day. So very exciting. The group's excited. So hopefully it's going to be a great day.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
That's Travis Head speaking to Eleanor Oldroyd. Well, he's excited, someone who's always excited and always optimistic. Ebony Rain for Brent down by the boundary rope. Glenn McGrath still with me. We are 12 minutes away from the start of play, and there's not much anticipated 4th day of this test match. How optimistic are you, Ebony?
I'm smiling a lot. Look, I have to be honest, I'm an extreme optimist, even against the odds. This is against the odds. But I always like to look at, we've talked, I'm sure you've all talked about the stats, but the 3 times 300's been chased down in the 4th innings. Only happened at 2 venues, and one of them has been Headingley, as we know, in the past. So straight away I get excited. I see that and I think this could be the last greatest day in the last decade. Then I come out and I think, well, the weather's looking all right. Of course we're on a 4th day pitch. Look, it's the simple truth is it's all about Joe Root and Ben Stokes. If they can weather the first bit, they can get past a bit of the new ball, then they might be in the game. It's the first time the Australian bowlers have been stretched. So I look at all the positives first of all, and I just get excited, and I think this could be the greatest day. I hope whatever happens that we get closer to tea than sort of a quick all-out kind of stress this morning. So look, I'm putting for everyone who out there who's optimistic, loves to see an England win, wants to see it against all odds, I'm with you. I'm backing you. I'm backing England at the moment.
Well, because you mentioned it. I mean, there is always that chance of an anticlimax on a day like this. It happened in Adelaide in the last series when England sort of felt like they had a chance. It's a similar sort of a game in a way, and it all just went very quickly. I think they lost 2 wickets very early on, Woakes and Root. So 8 overs until the new ball.
I think it was, wasn't it Joe Root on the first ball in Adelaide or something like that? First to second ball, and all of a sudden everything deflated, all hopes deflated. Look, the truth is that the stats and the odds are against England, but what we have to give them credit for is, under the real pump, Joe Root particularly has been under a lot of criticism just coming in off the back of winning the World Cup. All of a sudden, the headlines start to question his captaincy and this team. So well done to him for digging in, creating another opportunity for the fans to stay excited. And you never know, you just never know.
Yeah, so the task ahead, just to remind you, 203 more runs for England. It would be their highest ever successful run chase in a test match. I mean, that would be quite something to level up an Ashes series. So that's the size of the task. So history is against them. But you say it's a fourth-day pitch. I mean, that's better. I mean, you talk about being optimistic. That's better than the fifth-day pitch.
It is very much. One thing I want to say, I'll throw it to Glenn, actually. I was in the lift with a load of Australian fans this morning, all dressed in their get-up. And I was thinking the Australians were completely confident. And actually, they were all getting nervous. Oh, we got to use the new ball. Started getting tetchy. So I don't know. I think Australians are showing a positive, we've got this. But I think there's just a little niggle in the Australian mindset. I don't know. What are your thoughts, Glenn?
Oh, no, you don't want to come out and just be overconfident, be arrogant, just think, it's going to happen, because it's not going to just happen. So, yeah, it's always the anticipation before the day's play. It builds up, and you just want to get out there and start, and then you can just concentrate. When you're watching, fans, us sitting up in the commentary box, we've got zero control of what happens out in the middle, and I think sometimes that's worse. I hate watching my team, football team, whatever, play. I'm horrendous. Whereas I could be sitting there next in, we need 20 runs to win, and I'm more comfortable doing that when I can't bat than watching my own team, because you've got a certain amount of control. So I think once the players get out there, it's that first hour, the first 8 overs is going to be very important. New ball, first hour is going to be very important for both teams. He'll set this last day up.
You talk about being a participant. Let me take you back to May 2003. Do you know what I'm going to refer to?
Vague memory. They only, only chased down 418. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, what was that experience like? Just to remind listeners, Australia 240, West Indies 240, Australia 417. So West Indies need 418 to break the world record and win the Test match. And they did it with 3 wickets to spare, an 8th wicket stand of 46 after a couple of centuries. Sarwan made one for West Indies. What was that experience like?
Yeah, Sarwan made 100, Chanderpaul made 100. So, it was. I don't think we missed too many chances that day. It was just one of those days where, it was West Indies' day. If it takes a special innings like Chanderpaul and Sarwan up against it to, and then even there was a couple other. I think Banks got 47 and 20. So we're right in it. Even when we took that 7th wicket, they still needed 50, 60 runs. So, it was just their day. And if it takes a special innings or a special, from a couple of guys to beat you, then you can live with it. If you come out and bowled absolute garbage, drop catches, then you can only blame yourself. So, I have vague memories, recollection of that day. I try not to remember it too often, but thank you very much, Simon.
Well, one more question on it, though. Presumably when you went out to bowl, you had 417 runs today. It didn't even cross your mind that they could possibly chase it.
Oh no, you're always feeling confident. There's no doubt about that. But at the end of the day, if they're still batting it, at the end of the day, and they're not out, then they probably scored a few runs. So you still have to get out there and take 10 wickets. And sometimes, in theory, it can happen. Yeah. Rarely does it happen in reality, but it can. Yeah. And so if you're on the side that is winning it that day, especially, I think back to Hobart against Pakistan, where Adam Gilchrist, Justin Langer, we chased down a massive score there with a quality bowling attack. So it can happen, but the odds are against it.
Yeah, you mentioned Justin Langer there. I saw him about 20 minutes ago, just after we went on air. Actually, he went out to the pitch and he was inspecting it as if he'd seen an insect on it. He was just looking at one particular area. It might well be just the area in which Nathan Lyon is going to bowl into. Who do you start with this morning? Do we wait for the main new ball bowlers, or do you go straight away with the new ball bowlers, bearing in mind the new ball is 8 overs away? Yeah. What do you think? Both of you?
Well, it's a tough one, isn't it? So there was a little bit of reverse swing at the end of last night, and you'd want to start with your 2 best bowlers, but with the new ball, not too far away. They'll probably be tempted to start with Nathan Lyon from one end and probably James Pattinson, keep Cummins and Hazelwood ready to go. But yeah, I don't know. I'd be if I'm Josh Hazelwood or Pat Cummins, I want to start with that new ball, with that first ball of the day. Sorry.
Yeah, I think it's similar. Definitely Nathan Lyon. And also it's worth noting that we started seeing the spin starting to come in, which is something we haven't really seen in this Test match so far. So look, I'll definitely be looking to have Nathan Lyon at one end, and then it's all about Hazelwood is the one for me. I think even watching yesterday when Joe Root was batting well, he still was always passing the outside edge, squaring up. We saw a couple of reviews that went in the end for Joe Root's way. So I just think Hazelwood is most probably the one who's got the money on this Test match. So he wants that new ball regardless.
Well, maybe they'll start with Cummins, with Pattinson and Lyon, and just give Hazelwood and Cummins just one over with the old ball. So when they get that new ball, they're ready to go.
Yeah. Would you like that? I mean, did you need that one over just to get going, or would you have been ready?
I would have preferred to have the 4 overs and then keep bowling. But no, bowlers at this level have to be ready to go from the first ball they bowl. If they take a few balls to warm up or an over to warm up, the batsman's already got their eye in, they've got used to you, they're away, so you've got to be ready to go ball one.
Well, we are nearly ready to go. We can hear the strains of Jerusalem in the background. Just looking around the ground, Headingley is almost full, and I'm not surprised as well. Sunday morning, often people drift in a bit late, but it's a day to be here at 11 o'clock, isn't it?
It massively is. Everyone knows about this Test match. I was in the taxi on the way up. People know it's on the radios. There's a real excitement, and I have to say, look, the fans have been brilliant in this whole tournament. The whole game anyway, and as Joe Root walks past, I'll hand it back to you to describe.
Well, the umpires are out. Joe Root with a very determined look on his face, and Ben Stokes as well. They're just waiting about 3 or 4 yards away from me on the boundary edge, playing a few shadow strokes. Stokes is getting his gloves on. Where are the Australians? Well, the England batsmen they're ready. Where are the Australians? Still in their dressing room. The umpires are making their way out to the middle. Big day for them, although of course with the review system that eliminates crucial potential mistakes on a final day, and we've seen a few of those in this series so far. So here come the Australians. Nathan Lyon, the first out of the dressing room, and he's just bouncing around on the spot. David Warner alongside him, who's caught brilliantly in this Test match. 5 catches already at first slip. And so we're nearly ready. A much anticipated day.
It is. It's just seeing Warner actually. I'm just getting a little bit nervous that all of a sudden the pessimism kicks in and you can see another Hazelwood Warner. So look, it's going to be a tough ask. The bowlers, they look fresh. It's a brilliant day as well for cricket in terms of being warm and getting out there. It's not like a grey overcast day. They're going to be warm. They're going to be fired up and getting into their straps.
But this is why you play Test cricket, why you represent your country, to get in situations like this and go out and perform. So great opportunity for Stokes and Root to make, build their name even bigger than it already is. Great opportunity for the Australians to really show what they're made of. So this is why you play international cricket, why you play Test cricket.
Absolutely.
One thing I was just going to say is it's interesting seeing how quick Root and Stokes were down here. I think they were right on the line. As soon as the Australian came, they ran on the pitch. So what they are definitely is showing signs that they're up for a battle. Whatever happens, we won't know until the next hour or so. But it's good to see the batters. Look, the Australians haven't even made it out there yet. And Root and Ben Stokes, they're at the crease. They're good to go.
Yeah, and the crowd are into it already as well. Big roar for Root and Stokes as they made their way over the boundary line. Every run, I'm sure, will be cheered. And the Australia supporters away to our left-hand side with in their green and yellow. They'll be roaring every England wicket. We're about to go here. What has this day got in store for us? We can't wait. Let's go to the commentary box. Sir Alistair Cook is there, and Jonathan Agnew as well. Good morning, Aggies.
Yes, thank you, Simon, very much. What a day, and there's so much optimism coming up through the Ginnell there on the west side of Headingley this morning. People buzzing. There's so much excitement and anticipation about this for you, an England supporter, or indeed, of course, an Australian. It was interesting there to see how early Root and Stokes were waiting there on the boundary edge, long before the Australians appeared, as if, I don't know, they couldn't wait to get out there, or just I don't know, just bursting with anticipation and excitement, and some nerves too, of course, because this is so crucial. We're building up for half an hour. You know the situation, and it has come down now to this first session. The new ball just 8 overs away, and up there on the board, 203 more runs for England to win and to keep the Ashes alive. One team is going to win today, one team is going to lose. Who is it going to be? It's a beautiful day. I hope the sun is shining wherever you're listening to us. I doubt it is in Australia at the moment, but you know what I mean. Certainly here, we've got a wonderful bank holiday weekend, and perfect for sitting in the garden, firing up your barbecue and putting the radio on. It's just absolutely perfect for that today. 1:56 for 3. Joe Root very fired up last night, wasn't he? Crikey. Look at that photograph that has popped up on Twitter. All I said was, well played, skipper. He was absolutely in the zone, and it was good to see. Fired up. No problem with that whatsoever. And here's the first ball. 1:56 for 3. And in goes Pattinson and bowls very full and Root jabs it down into the offside. The crowd think he's setting off for a run, but he doesn't do so. And there's applause there for no particular reason. But that's the sort of atmosphere that we have here. Cookie, it's fantastic, isn't it?
Amazing. Edge of your seat stuff today is going to be. You know how important it is. Joe Root and Ben Stokes, they didn't play football. As soon as they'd done their stretches, they were off. They're straight into the changing room.
Is that right?
They were. I watched that. I thought it was a bit strange. I know how much Ben Stokes loves the morning run around, but they've got tunnel vision. They've got tunnel vision this morning.
Billy Cooper's here with his trumpet. Pattinson turns below us. It's a beautiful morning. Over the wicket he goes. Bowls to Root. Full again. Root brings that bat down and blocks it to mid-on, and again gets a round of applause. It's all these great games that we've seen over the years and been lucky enough to attend. It just feels like, I don't know, Edgbaston 2005. It's the same sort of atmosphere. And it often happens on a Sunday. There's something about a Sunday crowd that's just, I don't know, it's a bit different. It just is. At Lord's, a Sunday crowd is very different to a Saturday crowd. It's, I don't know, people come for an especially good time, it seems, on a Sunday. Root's on 75. No runs added this morning. Pattinson runs in, bowls to one off stump. It's beautiful. 4 defensive shot there. Solid as you like. Well, I'll tell you what, everybody, if you keep this up all day, you're going to be exhausted. But why not?
I think a lot of the people here probably at one stage yesterday when England were 15 for 2 didn't think they'd be here watching cricket. So that even adds to even more as Billy finishes the rendition.
I'm not sure I've heard an ovation like that for the Barmy Army before either. They always start their Jerusalem after the first ball has been bowled. And that was amazing. The whole crowd joining in there to say well done. 1:56 for 3. Pattinson again, a long run, long athletic approach is there and bowls down the leg side. There's an appeal for a catch. Root's not going anywhere. They like that. Tim Payne particularly likes it. The crowd saying, yeah, get on with you. But are they going to review it? Certainly Payne was right up for that. They're not going to review it. Well, that's what the crowd think, but they don't know. Umpire Wilson gave it not out. Let's have a look and see if he did get a little something on it. It was far down the leg side. No, I don't think so. Did he? I think it was off the trousers, wasn't it?
Yeah, just a little tickle trying to run it under fine leg, and it's just hit his thigh pad.
Yeah.
Back, front leg trousers. I used to think when the Jerusalem started, he had 2 balls to get through. Nothing worse getting out midway through
terrible.
the rendition of Jerusalem when everyone's supporting you.
Pattinson past the umpire. Root waits for him, is there now and bowls outside the off stump. Now there's no stroke and still applause.
Can't imagine what happens when a run scored.
That was applause from most of the crowd for a no stroke outside the off stump. It's fabulous. It's terrific. And let's just really, really hope we get a finish here, a really exciting climax to this Test match, because everybody's up for it.
I don't mind if it's not exciting and these two knock it off.
A dull win. Well, but it's not going to be dull, is it? It's going to be an edge of the seats thing today. As long as they can get through this first hour. In goes Pattinson. He bowls and Root again defends. The last ball of the first over, it's a maiden. And Root looked absolutely solid there, I must say, really getting behind it. And people are going to shout at me for putting commentator's curse. I'm not, I promise you, I'm just telling you the truth. He really got right in there. Played very, very solidly, very correctly. No runs added. And he and Stokes have a briefish conversation. Not much to report, really. It was no real movement there, just pretty straight.
But still
on target.
Still relentless from Australia straight away. We've been talking about his bowling attack. and nothing was given there in that first over. Not a loosener. Patterson was on the money from bowled very full the first two. That's an Australian thing. They often go full of their first couple of balls to new batters, thinking bring everything into play. After that, he was back on that metronomic length, bashing away, and Joe Root was up for it.
Interesting what they do with the new ball. They're obviously saving Cummins for that. But what's going to happen at the other end? They've got Hazelwood for now. Whether he'll bowl, I don't know, a couple maybe, and then go off, or whether they think he's going to bowl a long spell and just go rolling into the new ball. It's 7 overs away now. And he's going to bowl up the slope with that fabulous new stand behind him. The white roofs are glistening in the sunshine as Hazelwood comes in. Bowls to Stokes, who comes walking forward. Plays a defensive shot to mid-on and gets a round of applause. 156 for 3. It's going to be deafening when they little single down to fine leg or something.
Have they got deep point out? No, they haven't. No.
3 slips. 3 in the offside there. Backward point, extra cover mid-off. Mid-on. Fairly square mid-wicket and a long leg. So it's a very orthodox field. Any unusual-ish bit is that the third slip's a bit wider. No one down here at third man. And Hazelwood rolls in from that far end and bowls. Now, Stokes was leaving that and made involuntary contact, really, as that ball's outside the off stump. And he goes for a bit of a prod at the pitch, a bit of gardening. But he was his late decision to start leaving that.
Leave block.
That's what you call it, yeah?
Leave block. Try and leave it. Hits the middle of the bat. It's always a good sign. You're trying to leave and you still hit the middle of the bat from Stokesy.
So it could have gone anywhere, really, but anyway. It's quite secure in the end, and he walks back into position again. Hazelwood turns in the distance. Stokes stands up, bat raised. Absolute silence as Hazelwood bowls outside the off stump. Stokes plays no stroke. And Payne gathers that in front of David Warner, who's had a tremendous game there at first slip. He's taken some really good catches. Nice leave that. And just looking at the replay. Again, good carry. The ball really going through well. It's something you haven't been seeing in this series, really. The slow pitches, the low bounce, catches not carrying to slip. But here, on the fourth day, the ball's still going through nicely to the keeper. 156 for 3. In comes Hazelwood, bowls to Stokes, makes him play there, out to cover. I wonder what the crowd are applauding. Is it relief? Is it just encouragement? A bit of both, perhaps.
Don't think they're applauding good bowling, though, are they?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Our Australian friends this morning. Good day to you all down there. Yep, thank you. Oh, look at all those hands go up today. All tuned in down there today. It's fantastic. Hope you're enjoying the sunshine. What a day we've got in store up here at sunny Leeds. 156 for 3. Hazelwood round the wicket, bowls to Stokes, who punches that back at him. Hazelwood glares as he feels that down by his boots and then tosses the ball away to be polished in the covers. 156 for 3. Good turnout by the Aussies today too. I think they're all there today.
I hope they've got more than one top.
Well, I made that point the other day.
Did you? Sorry.
Yeah, it wouldn't be good, would it? Not in weather like this. I suspect they have. What if Merv's? Is Merv down there today? He's been spotted out and about. Anyone? Is Merv there? Yeah, there's a few waving. Oh, he's behind, is he? Yeah, thank you. Yeah. 156 for 3. Hazelwood bowls. Stokes gets a thick edge. It runs down into third slip. And it's another maiden. Another maiden. And the Australian bowlers bang on target. And England showing determination. 156 for 3. You don't lose an Ashes series willingly, do you? You fight all the way. Stokes, you're right, Cookie. 56 balls for 2 not out.
It's playing himself in, isn't it?
He certainly is.
Jeffrey would be very proud.
But actually, his test. Okay, this is particularly slow, if you like. But his test innings do tend to start slowly, don't they? Gets himself in. Now Pattinson, wearing 19, wheels around, is on his way to Joe Root. Still no runs scored this morning, and Root comes forward to a ball that's very full, almost half volley length that, and straight. And again, it's patted back at the bowler.
Australia will be hunting the 3 maidens in a row. I think if you get 3, we always used to talk about it, 3 maidens in a row increases your chance to get a wicket in the 4th.
Oh, does it? Okay.
Yeah, 4th over by quite a lot. I'm not sure Andrew will have that stat to hand, but it is something that we talk about, the 3 maidens in a row. And it's not just for playing for England. Essex use it as well. A lot of counties use it. So.
156 for 3. Then goes Pattinson over the wicket, bowls to Root. Oh, he got a little bit squared up there. Might have moved a little bit, but a little shorter than the previous ball. And Root played that from the crease. Now he's coming up and doing a bit of tapping with the bat. Just squared him up. He played it into the offside, all right, but not as securely as he's been playing up to now.
Just a hint of maybe reverse swing. I think the England lads said this morning that they thought the Aussies just got it going a tiny bit. Not surprising with how much warm weather we've had the last couple of days. And actually looking at the square, good foot marks are quite dry, and the whole square is very dry, so probably not that abrasive, but dry enough just to get a hint. And if it's just moving a tiny bit, it's all you need.
Pattinson's there, he bowls, and Root covers up and comes forward, plays down to mid-on. 88 miles an hour, he's racking up there, Pattinson. But, Root again goes for a stroll now, and he's gazing towards the west stand, or at least in that direction. Turns round again and twiddles his bat. It's passing time for the bowler to walk all the way back. It's quite a long way, good full 30 yards, I reckon, Pattinson. He's up level with the advertisers logo and beyond. And he comes absolutely straight. He's on his way now. Shoulders rocking, over the wicket he goes. Bowls to Root, brings him forward again. I mean, it's beautiful bowling and it's beautiful batting, to be fair. Absolutely masterclass here in bowling an immaculate line and length and playing an immaculate line and length. It's very good.
Well, I checked out the hotel this morning thinking a guarantee result either way. But if England bat at this rate, we could still be here
again
tomorrow.
Yep, that's a very good point. Man goes out to deep square leg. What England do? They really want to get Australia starting to search for wickets a bit, knock them off this methodical line and length. Pattinson bowls on the off stump, and Root again absolutely solidly. There's a cry out there as that came off the inside portion of the bat and towards the pad and then fielded at mid-on. Crowd again right behind England. And you can't have a go at Joe Root up here. They'll be right on you. And Paul Wilson's twitching about there. He's having a look at Pattinson's front foot landing zone. Very dry there. 8 runs from the last 59 balls. Look at that. No wickets though. Pattinson over the wicket, bowls. Oh, that bounced, and Root had to fend that off rather. Climbed and hit the gloves. Picked up there on the leg side. Well bowled Pattinson. Well played Root. What a contest. We've had 3 overs and not a single run. And actually not even looking like a single run. There's some very solid defensive batting. Now there's your 3 maidens, Cookie.
There's your 3 maidens here. In fact, the last 31 overs. There've been a total of 39 runs.
And yeah, it's been gripping. It's been gripping. Some impressive figures there. Hazelwood, 19 overs, 2 for 35. Cummins, 15 overs, 1 for 33. Pattinson, 15 overs, hasn't taken a wicket, but only 23. Counting down to the new ball, and you feel that's such an important element of today. Hazelwood bowls, and Stokes turns him calmly to mid-wicket. There's a fielder there.
And on Ben Stokes, by the end of 2017, his strike rate in Test cricket was 63.7. It's been 47.2 since then.
No, he does get stuck in as well. That's why they started. Well, they played it only 1 game at number 3, didn't they? But I mean, he has got a very good, sound defensive technique.
Has his average gone up in that period?
It's gone down slightly. It was 35 before that, and it's 32 since then.
In comes Hazelwood, bowls to Stokes. Oh, almost caught at mid-wicket. Flicked it hard, but in the air, and it landed just in front of Travis Head there at mid-wicket. It's another yard or thereabouts, and I reckon that would have been a catch.
Time the nuts off, didn't hit it really hard. I was actually thought that was the first runs. I didn't even think it was going to carry that far, but he just kept on going, low skimmer. I was more thinking half a yard either side. It's 4.
Just a moment of fortune perhaps there. 156 for 3. In comes Hazlewood, bowls to Stokes. That's an immaculate defensive stroke on the front foot, playing up to mid-off. No run. 156 for 3. It's how England resumed 15 minutes ago. Still needing 203 to win, but no wickets lost. And I'll tell you what, we're seeing some determination out there. Absolutely determined.
He feels if something's going to break, isn't it? It's that moment whether Hazlewood chases Ben Stokes, or Ben Stokes chases Hazlewood. Something is going to happen.
Down go the slips. Warner's ready. Hazlewood's on his way. Bowls outside the off stump. No stroke from Stokes. Tim Payne collected. What is going to happen? What is going to give first? Hazlewood walks back. You hear the crowd. An occasional shout. Buzz.
It's almost like Lords, that buzz Lords gets, actually. He's just sitting up here. You can just hear that murmur. Lords has that amazing ability to have a buzz. You don't normally hear it at Headingley. It's a bit more riotous, but
but people are just gripped, aren't they? Even down there at that west stand, that far bit of it. Stokes waits. In comes Hazlewood. He bowls short and hit him. Hit him on the helmet. And there's bits of helmet coming off. And inevitably here we're going to have a concussion check. It was short, and Stokes went to hook it, and that earpiece, is it the back piece, the stem guard has come off.
Yeah, it hasn't. Always worries me when it comes off so easy that it could just go straight on the stumps, and of course you'll be bowled.
Yes.
There were bits flying everywhere.
There were. I'm not sure where the ball went.
I think he hit him quite hard. A few of the Aussies came to see how Ben Stokes was. He was in
Let's have a look at this.
No mood to say anything.
I mean, it has hit him hard, actually. That's hit him sort of towards the peak of the helmet, just above the grill, and that immediately that guard's come off. The ball went to ground. But again, that is a thumping blow with an old ball. It took his eye off that.
Yeah, I don't think it beats him for pace, did it? He wasn't one of those, because he was playing the pull shot. He was playing the pull or hook shot. I just think he just misread the line. He probably just got a little bit big on him, but he was right there to play it, so I don't think it beat him for pace. But actually, just looking at the replay, Hazlewood bowled with that was a cross seamer. I wonder if he bowls every bounce with a cross seam. So I wonder if England could pick up on that. I mean, he's got such big hands, he probably hides the ball anyway, but I think it was a cross seam bouncer.
Well, there's some repair works going on to the helmet. There's certainly, I think they think that Stokes is okay.
Well, we got a little bit time. I guess I have to thank you for dinner last night.
Well, a bit of dinner.
Oh, no, but I've heard a lot about the Agnew hospitality in TMS over the years, and that was my first.
You were surprised?
I was very surprised.
It was very nice. You're on very good form.
I was also surprised you did it, because I was sitting next to Emma for quite a lot of it.
Well, you were.
She was telling me about her next purchase, which she's really scared of telling you about.
Well, her horse is broken. So, anyway.
She wants a new one, Aggers.
She does, I know.
I don't think they're cheap.
I'm going to have to go busking or something. Yes, it's always a blow with it. I mean, the horses. Anyway, Stokes is okay, and he's going to resume. Still no runs this morning. Hazlewood on the way, and Stokes leaves that outside the off stump. Through it goes. I'll tell you what's going to give. I'm going to give, because we've got to change something here, and I'm on the edge of the seat, and it's time that something happened. But Stokes is okay. That's the main thing. That was a bit of a rattle there on the helmet. 156 for 3. Nothing has happened apart from 4 maidens and a very excited, animated crowd. It's fantastic. Simon Mann's coming in after some thoughts from Cookie.
Fantastic start by Australia, giving absolutely nothing to England here in this first 20 minutes. We've all spoken about how crucial the new ball is, but I think Australia have said we're going to give nothing away until that new ball, maybe then attack a little bit more with the new ball. They've had an extra cover in, they might go 3 and 1. The attack as Patterson comes down the hill.
Well, he set off. Good morning again. He set off and then lost his run-up, or possibly Root wasn't ready. 4 overs from the new ball. 4 maidens to start the day. It's tense out there. And Australia feeling it as well. Not just England and the England supporters. There is Pattinson past the umpire. Bowls to Root, and Root plays defensively. Good delivery from Pattinson, arms in the air. He thought he got through onto the pads there, not quite. Root got the bat down in time and played it away into the onside towards mid-wicket, and there's no run. Alistair talking about that, this relatively defensive field is 2 slips and almost a gully, 2 slips and a fourth slip. There's a deep backward point in, fine leg. There are 4 saving 1. And everyone knows this new ball is coming, and Australia, they'd love the bonus of a wicket before the new ball. Pattinson from the Kirkstall lane end goes in and bowls to Root, and Root pushes that away into the offside. There's the first run of the morning. Just through backward point. It's like the applause for 100. Root is underway. He's on 76. A little dab into the offside, just to the right of that 4 slip fielder.
As soon as you come in, Simon, we get going.
Absolutely.
What's Agnew doing?
Yeah, the run scoring will pick up now. None of this blocking. 157 for 3. But it's an interesting one, isn't it? What that pressure, the maidens, does that build pressure, or would you say actually just keeps the Australians out there, keeps them out there. The longer they bowl, the more energy they expend, especially with Hazlewood bowling from the other end as well.
Well, this is 16th over for Patterson without a wicket. He's bowled beautifully. I mean, if you're really asking questions England batters, but that is the miles and legs that at some stage it has to affect them.
Yeah. Pattinson moves in now to bowl to Stokes, and Stokes gets a very full ball, which he digs out into the offside. Goes up to Khawaja, and there's applause for that. I don't know, what is it? Survival of that ball for Stokes. The ball after he was hitting the grill. In danger there of being out hit wicket.
Yeah, those guards flew everywhere. I don't quite know why they do fly everywhere, because it didn't hit him. It hit Ben Stokes right on the top of the grill. There must be a better way of attaching them.
Yeah, definitely.
They don't. That doesn't happen.
157 for 3. 1 run added this morning. Pattinson moves in, bowls to Stokes. Stokes gets a thick outside edge there. Again, Pattinson's hands are in the air, desperate for this wicket, and he's bowling well. He's attacking the stumps, but that went out to Lyon, fielding at point, and there's no run. You're right, because someone is going to be out hit wicket with them, especially the number of batsmen seem to be hit on the head these days, and they're going to come out and they'll knock the bails off, and you'll be on your way. So they are just attached. They have finding a way of securing them more firmly. Stokes on 2 from 64 balls. I mean, that's remarkable. Someone like Ben Stokes. Here is Pattinson. Goes in to bowl to him. Stokes is solidly forward. Does he get his first run? No, he doesn't. Khawaja scuttles away to his left and picks it up, and there's no run. I mean, he has changed the way he's played of late, and he has shown that he's capable of really digging in. He's played some quite gritty defensive innings, but you still expect him to biff 1 or 2 away, even when he's playing defensively.
Yeah, they've just spread the field the last ball with deep point out as well, and deep back of square leg. And I wonder if Lyon might come that end just to give Hazlewood a couple of overs off before the new ball. And I maybe want Ben Stokes to face it rather the left-hander facing Nathan Lyon to start with. I can't work out a reason why they would just suddenly drop deep point and deep square leg.
Yeah. 3 slips in. Pattinson bowls to Stokes, who plays at that one. Yeah, just drawn into it. Perhaps he saw the gap. I don't know. Subconsciously saw the gap. Thought about first run of the morning, square with the wicket, but he played at a ball he did not have to play at, just feeling for it. Push stroke.
Just went off the seam a little bit. There's a little bit just going with the reverse, and we're only talking a tiny bit, and the ball just does something. It keeps the batsman so honest. And that's what Australia have done so well in this innings so far. Probably apart from that, there's a 20-minute period when Denley and Root managed to score quite freely, I think. Well, freely more than they are now. But as I expected, Nathan Lyon is coming on.
Well done, Captain Cook.
Got the clue, he's doing massive warm-ups.
Oh, right, OK, I didn't spot that. Right, Lyon, no wicket for 42. He's not taken a wicket in this series since the first innings at Lord's.
Been tied with Dennis Lilly for quite a while.
On 355 test wickets, 157 for 3. England added 1 run this morning in 25 minutes play. So we're close to the new ball, and normally with a new ball you'd expect to be up around 260, something like that, perhaps more if you're having a good time. At 157. Now here is Lyon then, first time he has bowled today. He's bowling from the football stand end in warm sunshine into Root, who nudges this away for a single. Down towards Pattison, and Root gets his second run of the morning, but I don't think Lyon will be that worried about that, because it means he does get to bowl at the left-hander. 158 for 3. England need a further 201 to win. I think from the crowd reaction today, you could almost not commentate, and you could work out what's happened out there just from the crowd reaction. You can often do it in India. It's funny actually, just stand at the back of the box, turn your back to the action. You can almost predict exactly what's happened from the crowd reaction. Here is Lyon bowling, clipped away by Stokes for his first run of the morning. Through Labuschagne, out towards deep forward square leg. Just a single, because Australia have a man out there on the boundary. So 1 to Stokes, 159 for 3.
Although I think you'd have to change your usual decibel levels. That's a big cheer for a 1. So if you're listening to the cheer, that'd normally be a boundary.
Well, you have to understand the context of the game.
True.
I think today, big cheers for singles, any run, I think. Lyon bowls. Oh, and there's a mis-stumping, there's a catch there at slip, he's out. Root came down the pitch and he missed it, but he must have got just a little bit on it. And Warner took a very good catch away to his left-hand side. And Lyon has made the breakthrough before the new ball, and it's Root who's gone. 6 catches in the match for Warner. Initially I thought it was a mis-stumping, but he actually got a little brush onto his pad, and Warner took a spectacular catch away to his left-hand side. Well, applause for Root, but he has not been able to do too much damage today. He's gone for 77, and it's 159 for 4.
Yeah, he came running down to try and hit him over deep, over mid-wicket. There's a big gap there, and got an inside edge. It just hit his pad and looped to Warner, who took a diving catch. He was very close. Probably took the catch almost behind the stumps, actually. But he went over Payne's left shoulder.
Well, that's fabulous athleticism from Warner. He's caught some pearlers in this match. You consider how he dropped Stokes in a crucial moment at Lord's. He's really shown what he's capable of. And he was flinging the ball high in the air, punching the air as well. I mean, it felt like a strange shot from Root. Suddenly to come down the pitch like that to Lyon early on. But he has gone 159 for 4, and Johnny Bairstow is in at number 6, and the new ball is 2.5 overs away.
So does that move Lyon past Lilly now?
It does, yeah. 356 test wickets.
Amazing, an amazing effort actually. That is for a finger spinner, certainly in Australia as well, to play your majority of your inning, your cricket at home, for a finger spinner on those wickets, to have as many wickets as that is brilliant. And he's a really nice lad actually, really nice lad, and full credit to him. I just wish he didn't get it then.
What about the stroke? What about the approach from Root?
Yeah, I mean, he'd won it again. He'd won his time again. But you were talking about the pressure that those 4 or 5 overs had just built up. He was thinking the run hasn't gone anywhere, and he thought that was probably a time to try and put some pressure on. But he's thinking the damage that he could do later on after the new ball. But Australia have given Joe Root nothing this morning, given Ben Stokes nothing, and that's where the pressure is. And he saw Pattison sprinting in actually. He deserves a lot of credit for that wicket, for building the pressure up.
Here's Bairstow facing Lyon, and he's right back into his stumps, playing calmly away into the offside. An eager Warner comes some slip to pick up away to his right-hand side. It was an unusual dismissal. I mean, you rarely see a batsman out like that. Root inside edging it onto his pad over the left shoulder of Payne and diving Warner away to his left. Here's Bairstow off the mark, turning it away, back of the square. 160 for 4, and England need under 200 to win, 199 more, but that task has been made so much harder by the dismissal of Joe Root before the new ball. And you can just imagine what he's thinking in that dressing room downstairs. Why did I do it? I could have just pushed it back to the bowler.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Yeah.
It's a horrible thing.
Yeah. Stokes on 3, short leg in, Warner there, at slip. Here is Lyon bowling to Stokes, who's forward. In the air for a moment, just going out into the onside, but well short of Labuschagne, fielding at short leg. And that is the end of a successful over for Lyon. Takes him past Dennis Lilly, and more importantly for Australia, takes them closer to retaining the Ashes. They are 6 wickets away. England are 199 runs away from winning.
Joe Root 77 of 205 balls, 7 fours. They batted for 5 1/4 hours, just over 5 1/4 hours, 318 minutes. Nathan Lyon now the 3rd highest wicket taker in Test cricket for Australia, just Glenn McGrath and Shane Warne ahead of him. 291 balls it took him to get from 355 to 356, which is quite a long wait.
I had a question for you, and it's just gone straight out of my mind, but I'll come back to it in a moment. 160 for 4 is the score. It's going to be Pattinson to bowl, and there are 2 overs to go until the new ball. Johnny Bairstow on strike, who's not been in the greatest of form in Test cricket this summer. Of late, indeed. Here is Pattinson bowling, so very full and wide, or tempter really. Bairstow not to be tempted, although he did play well last Sunday as England built that big 3rd innings score that enabled them to declare at Lords. Bairstow making 30 not out in the stand of 97. It was Stokes really. So this was the partnership last Sunday. Very different circumstances.
And 6 catches for David Warner in the match.
That was the question I was going to ask you. Yeah, where does that put him?
So he's 1 behind Greg Chappell and Matthew Hayden for Australia.
This is Pattinson. Oh, and then Bairstow just pulls away again. Someone moving beneath us at the Kirkstall Lane end.
So Greg Chappell took 7 against England at Perth, which is the Ashes record for Australia. Matthew Hayden's was against Sri Lanka. It is the most for an Australian in England, though. Graham Hall with 5 was the previous record holder at Lords in 1953.
Well, he's caught superbly. David Warner. Bairstow waits, back raised. Pattinson goes in to bowl to him, and that's nudged away, possibly off the pad. They're going to get a single, back of the square. Travis Head, who we heard before today's play, talking about how he's recovered from illness at the start of the match, goes to his right-hand side to pick it up, and they are through for a single. 161 for Follett. Was that a leg by? It says 2 to Bairstow on the scoreboard, 1 on our television monitor. We'll get that sorted out. Anyway, 161 for 4, the most important statistic. England need 198 more to win. Michael Vaughan is here.
Good morning. I don't think I've ever seen Headingley at 11 a.m. full. Day 4
especially
of
on a Sunday as well. People come in a bit late, don't they?
Fantastic to see. I think they all know, don't they? I mean, this first session is so important. It's crucial.
Pattinson bowls to Stokes, wide of off stump. Stokes allows it to go through, taken low down by Tim Payne.
I mean, I can see what Ben Stokes is doing. I mean, he's 3 from 69 delivers. That's 3 from 11.3 overs of his own batting. And you can see his mindset. He's just trying to play in such a disciplined way, but I just wonder if he's just missing opportunities to score. It can't just be about survival. Got to try and tick the scoreboard over as well. Or he's just thinking that second new ball, it'll be a fresher, harder ball, he'll be able to time it better. But it's also going to do a bit more as well.
Pattinson past the umpire, up to the stumps now, bowls wide to Stokes. Stokes allows that to go by, taken by Payne.
Saying that, I mean, the Australian bowling, I mean, this morning it's been magnificent. He's just been straight. Good field set by Tim Payne, not offering, gifts of big gaps to be able to whack the ball into. He's been playing the fielders on the boundary square leg, goes back, then he comes in. couple of points on the boundary just to protect that drive on the offside. Still the 3 catches behind the wicket. And his bowlers have just bowled straight. Made the batsman play.
5 runs in 35 minutes and the wicket of Root. Pattinson bowls to Stokes, short and wide, and Leaping Pain just about stops that going before buys. Took it at the second attempt. His right paw leaping in the air. Root's shot, Michael, Root's approach.
Well, he just tried to hit it too square on the onside. Whether it was just a lapse in concentration, it was so important that he was there for that second new ball. The inside edge over Tim Payne's head, good catch from David Warner. You'd feel slightly aggrieved, but just trying to work it a little bit too square on the onside with the turn. Perfect for Australia just before the second new ball, and the main batsman gets out.
Yeah, they've certainly won this opening 35 minutes. Pattinson bowls, and Stokes is just drawn into pushing at that one. Across him, full outside the off stump, went past the edge and through to Payne. And Australia continued to bowl superbly here. Pattinson, 17 overs, no wicket for 24. The squeeze has been on, and the new ball is 1 over away. And England are 161 for 4.
But the Test match batting team, it's like the tempo. You go to the first innings. They didn't realise early enough that the ball was doing something. They just had to dig in and fight. And they went chasing too many deliveries in the second innings. They've showed a huge amount of discipline. But in the last 20-odd overs of batting, it may be that could be the easiest time to bat. And it's realising that as a team and just upping the tempo at the right times. And you can see what they're trying to do. They're trying to dig in and bat the overs and just see where it takes them. But I still feel when you're chasing down, you've still got to have scoring options. It's not the reckless scoring options like we saw in the first. It's just rotating the strike, trying to be busy, running between the wickets.
Last over before the new ball is available. Lyon goes in and bowls to Bairstow, who's back to a ball that's fired through outside off stump. He allows it to go through to Payne.
44 runs in the last 35 overs.
Wow. I mean, that's sort of blocking out for a draw batting in a way,
That's
isn't
Jeffrey
it?
style, that, isn't it?
He'd have loved it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he's celebrating downstairs, this kind of batting. Cracked over in a bottle, I think.
Bairstow waits for Lyon. Bairstow's back, turning it away for a single. And Pattinson jogs in to pick up.
I just always think when Nathan Lyon's onto a new right-hander, because he gets so much overspin and bounce, I always feel like a 45 catcher on the leg side is a position that I think I'd be having as a captain, because he gets back and you think, I'll just work it with the spin.
So where does he get him from?
I'd just take him from extra cover. Try and hit him through the offside. When you first go out there, it's such a difficult shot to play.
Lyon round the wicket, bowls to Stokes, who's forward, playing back up the onside of the pitch. And there's no run.
Well, Fred Boycott on Twitter, he has a dig-in trophy.
That's right,
I think
he does.
Stokes is winning it. And he's going to get that trophy, no doubt about it.
He's going to get the season's trophy, I think, not just the day trophy. He has it every day, doesn't he? For a dig-in effort. This is Lyon to Stokes. Stokes clips that firmly for more than a single this time. It's going out towards the deep mid-wicket boundary. Might have enough to go for 4. It does. Right in front of the phalanx of passionate England supporters in the West Stand. He's had enough on it there. 166 for 4.
I don't think I've ever heard a roar for that first run of the day from Joe Root, the single. The roar around the ground for a single. Well, that was probably twice as loud for the boundary.
Nice shot from Stokes, easing it away through mid-wicket. Takes him to 7. Lyon bowls. Stokes covers up, defends. Labuschagne scampers after it and picks it up, and there's no run.
First 4 since the 61st over.
Wow.
If England had chased down the target with Ben Stokes' strike rate, Andrew, when would they be winning?
Next week, Thursday.
166 for 4. Lyon to Stokes. Stokes is back, hitting it firmly into the onside, but straight to mid-wicket. And there is no run. It is the end of the over, and it might be the end of the first ball as well. The second new ball is now available, and it's on its way. You see the 4th umpire down there with his left hand, Tim Robinson. 166 for 4. Bairstow has 2. Stokes has 7. Root the man out. Caught by Warner, diving away to his left. An unusual one, that slip behind the wicketkeeper off the bowling of Lyon for 77. It's time for Jim Maxwell.
Yeah, here comes Pat Cummins as well, so it's going to be time for the second new ball. Jim Robinson, the fourth official, got a jog on with that second new ball. Pretty sure he might take it after a couple of balls, just give himself a couple of balls to bowl with the old one, and then it'll be taken straight away. Good morning, Jim. How are you?
Michael, I'm very well. It was an excellent evening thanks to Agger's hospitality at that Argentinian place. We had about 15 people there, including his old pal Simon Tobin from Melbourne. So it was nice to have a lively atmosphere.
Yeah, and lively it is here as well. I must admit, I was driving through Leeds this morning, coming to the ground, and there was a group of guys coming to the game today, all padded up. They were fully, they had the whites on, they had the pads on, I don't know where they're sat.
Here's Cummins running in and bowling on the body, as it were, of Bairstow. Tried to turn it, and it took him high up, maybe a little inside edge. But the new ball is due, not yet taken. 4 for 166. This is some of the tightest cricket you could imagine. Everyone's on the edge of their seats, and we went almost 5 overs without a run being scored. It's so tense out there.
Yeah, it's almost got 2 10s too soon. There's too much for England to do yet. Generally you get to this level when it's about 80 required.
Cummins again from the Kirkstall Lane end, and Bairstow back, squared up, pushing away defensively on the offside. The Australian bowling has been exceptional, and there's not much happening with the ball off the surface or in the air or anything, but the accuracy and the sustained control, particularly of Pattinson from this end, full straight, and Joe Root played him really well, and then thought, Lyon's coming on, I can get a bit. Here's the new ball.
Yeah,
you think Lyon just caused Joe to relax a bit?
I just think he got a little bit of grip. He tried to play it a little bit square on the onside. He got a deep kind of mid-wicket on the boundary. He's just trying to work it to him. Just a little bit squarer than he should have.
He had a few miscues on that yesterday against Lyon.
Yeah, there we go. 3 slips in a gully now. A cover point that was on the boundary.
So here we go. The second new ball has been taken. Cummins has got a group of fellas behind to catch, and he's on the way. He comes up, Bairstow is back, and he gets an awkward ball, and he did well to keep that down in the way for a single. He's played it off a bit of glove, perhaps, but that you could hear go whack on the bounce with the new nut, and Bairstow is 3, but that was pretty well played in the end to keep it away from anyone. There's no bat pad, mind you.
No, it's crusty, this pitch. It's really dry, and I reckon that's just bounced off the dry patch. I mean, it's reared up sharply to Johnny, but he does well to get it down and get down the other end. You'd probably see a short leg put in. But I'm surprised they're not putting one in now to Ben Stokes, having seen that last delivery.
Well, they've stuck with the slips cordon. The man out in front of square. No bat pad so far. Cummins has got the new cherry around the wicket. Here he comes. Bowls to Stokes. Stokes lets it go outside the off stump. He saw that well enough, and he's taking his time here and trying to get in and make sure England can carry this fight. But the Australian bowling is right on the money at the moment.
Yeah, and Stokes is the player that Australia really fear. You know, he is in good form. He got that 100 at Lords, and he's got the mind for the big occasion. We've seen that. We saw it in the World Cup. We saw it at Lords. You just know that he's just got that mindset.
Cummins turns with this new ball, runs in towards Stokes. Stokes forward, playing carefully along the line of the stumps on the angle from Cummins in towards his pads, and knocks it away down to Pattinson at mid-on.
Yeah, and the hard nature of this second new ball, there certainly will be balls that bounce. Probably 10 or 15 overs. England have just got to fight and try and scrap and just try and hang in there. And if you're there in 15 overs time, then you'll be able to score a little bit freer, and the ball won't be bouncing quite as much as we've seen in this first over from Pat Cummins.
4 for 167. Joe Root out for 77. Here's Cummins. He runs into Stokes. Stokes goes back and across, and Gets comfortably behind the line of that ball. So there's the first over with the second new ball. And the crowd abuzz in the Sunday sunshine here at Headingley. A full house, a wonderful atmosphere. And I was talking to Mark Nicholas the other day. I said, these 3-day tests gives everyone a bit of a holiday. He said, I want to see some proper cricket. And we had proper cricket yesterday, and we're having proper cricket today.
Tight, so tight. Yeah, and it's just, as a batsman in these conditions against this kind of attack, it just tests every facet of your game. The technical side, the mental side, physical. You're into day 4, third Ashes Test match, it's draining. And you've just got to eke out every ounce of ability out of yourself. And you just got to keep fighting. Johnny Bairstow got a decent one in the first innings from Hazlewood, just bounced, just on and around off stump. You just know with Hazlewood, I mean, I can't remember, I think he's bowled one bad ball. He's bowled a short wide one to Jason Roy. Can't remember him bowling another bad ball. A real, a dolly, one that you'd have to whack to the boundary.
Well, no short leg, 3 slips gully. Hazlewood comes up, Bairstow lets it go. Good leave too on the length, just around and outside the off stump. And with the new ball, he could be sure of the bounce going over. And it wasn't far from the usual Hazlewood line of metronomic accuracy, making the batsman have to make instantaneous decisions, play or leave.
It's just that channel that he's bowled. He just bowled the channel, angling the ball into around off stump pretty much 80% of the time.
4 for 167. Hazlewood comes up, Bairstow lets it go. That's a bit wider. Hit the pitch and went away. And it was taken by Payne across in front of Warner, who now has 6 catches in the match. And a good one today off a bit of inside edge and pad that went over the shoulder of Tim Payne as Joe Root tried to go down the pitch and work the ball away, and hurling himself away to his left behind Payne. Warner came up with another very good catch. He's had a brilliant match at first slip. So he's got Labuschagne and Harris alongside him. Hazlewood goes in. Bairstow's beaten outside the off stump. Couldn't do much about that other than miss it or nick it, and he didn't nick it. Beautiful bowling from Hazlewood.
Yeah, just a little bit too short, I reckon. Being ultra critical. I mean, Bairstow's on the back foot, the seam. You can get that a yard fuller, and I think the outside edge could have been found.
Yeah, well, he might be listening to you. Just get it up a bit closer to the stroke being either middled or nicked. But he's unerring in his accuracy. Here he comes again. Hazlewood runs into Bairstow. Bairstow off the pad, around the corner. It's gone behind square. They've darted for 1. They're back for 2. The ball's gone into no man's land. And he got a little edge onto that from the look of it. No, leg by.
Yeah, that's good from Bairstow. You expect that. He's such a good runner between the wickets, fast. So is Ben Stokes. England have got to do that. They've got to really kind of get busy between the wickets. It's not easy facing the delivery, so as soon as you get the opportunity to run, just get down the other end and try and get the 1s into 2s. Just get a bit of momentum going the England team's way.
They need a partnership, but somehow they need to negotiate this tricky period with the second new ball. Hazlewood moves in again. Bairstow gets a very wide delivery, and it is a wide. What about that?
Where's that come from?
Well,
he is human.
They hit the pitch and it just kept going, and Payne was running away towards second slip to grab it, and umpire Gaffney said, no, that's too wide. So 1 more to the score, 4 for 170.
I think what Hazlewood's done in this series, since he came into the team, he's just tried to whack the length. I thought back in 15 when he played in the Ashes, he tried to swing it all the time. He bowled floaty, full delivery as well. So far in this series, he's just been whacking that fuller length as hard as he can and just getting a little bit of seam either way.
He tries again. Hazlewood bowls. Bairstow plays off the pad down towards fine leg. This might go for 4. Cummins is coming across. He dives. He stops it. He knocks it away from the boundary rope. And they're coming for a 3rd on the throw, and is almost a run out, but he got home. quite comfortably in the end. 3 to Bairstow. The crowd enjoying the action, the spectacle there. The running between the wickets of the Cummins save on the boundary. The pick up and throw back on the challenge of Stokes, taking a third on the throw. And 3 more useful runs to the score. It creeps along, 4 for 173.
It's good work from Pat Cummins on the boundary as well. The big quick. Big dive to his right.
Very athletic. So Stokes to face Hazelwood now with a new ball. He started the day down at the football stand end before Lyon came on and picked up that vital wicket. So here he is, Hazelwood bowling Stokes around the wicket. He lets it go outside the off stump. Another over goes by. So England on by 17 runs in 50 minutes of play. I don't think anyone's really counting the runs because they just want to see England survive before they may prosper. So Kate Williams from Croatia emails us. Mark, Kate, Percy and Henry are listening to TMS while sailing along the coast of Croatia. It is pretty idyllic, but could be made slightly better by England not losing any more wickets. Well, there'll be a lot of people wishing for that. But they probably need to get a bit of momentum in their batting at the same time. Because you always sense when there's a string of maidens that a wicket's going to fall.
Well, you just look at the way that the Aussies are bowled to the tail as well. You know, Chris Wokes, Broad, Archer, it's just going to be aggressive. So it really is down to this partnership and the Buttler partnership to get them as close as possible. You can't believe in the tail enders to try and get you 100 or so.
There's always Chris Wokes, sparingly bowled.
Yeah, but I just think the Aussies have gone aggressive at him and almost worked him out with those short balls. I'm not going to put a short leg in Australia. It's like a square leg, 15 yards from Johnny Bairstow. Just like, that's for the flick off the hip. It's for, I guess, one in front of the face that would balloon in the air, but it's not an orthodox short leg.
So Cummins with this new ball is running in to Bairstow. Bairstow's back and he nudges it down behind point, but doesn't collect the run.
Just bowling too short, Cummins. I think the Australian strength with their bowling attack is, so far in this game, being that they've been hitting the stumps more often than not, just bringing the batsman forward. Just bowling a little bit too short.
Got a sub on out there, have they? Backward point? Is it backward point?
Bancroft.
It is Bancroft, yeah.
Who's off?
Well,
Nathan Lyon. Nathan Lyon, is he? Yeah, Nathan Lyon's off.
Lyon, yeah, he's normally in that spot, so yes. Looks like he's having a rest for a moment. But Cummins tries again. He runs in towards Bairstow, who lets the ball go. Good leave. That was a bit fuller, a little bit, but there was bounce outside the off stump.
Still go fuller than that, can't you?
Yeah. Pattinson was perfect this morning with his length.
Yeah, the old adage, can you make the batsman play a forward defensive? That's the discipline that I don't think will take you far wrong bowling in English conditions.
Bairstow 6, Stokes 7. Joe Root out for 77. England 4 for 173. But the runs are dribbling along at 2 and over. It's about, at this point, surviving this torrid period with the new ball. Cummins runs into Bairstow. Bairstow forward, defending. That was a bit fuller. And he was over the line of it and knocked it out on the offside. He goes off for a meander again towards square leg.
Look at this, Jim.
Now watch this email. My wife Zoe has just gone into labour in Camberwell in South London. Just wondering whether you think the baby will be out before England. Best regards, running a bath and giving a foot massage.
Get ready in the slip cordon, Will. Get ready, get down there.
Yeah. The ball might be easier to catch than the baby, I think. Goodness gracious.
To be fair, I'd have dropped both.
Thanks for that. Cummins runs in. Bairstow has a play and miss. Trying to play a kind of cut half horizontal bat shot and he missed out.
Yeah, and you can just see from that shot that it probably is there to hit.
Yeah.
You know, it's wide and there's a little bit of width on offer, slightly short. And you can just see from Johnny Bairstow's mind, he's almost playing, do I or don't I? Now, do I play the aggressive shot? But what happens if I get out doing so? You know, whatever you do when you're under, you've got to be completely committed, whether it's defence or attack. It's a little bit half-hearted, that, from Johnny Bairstow.
So Cummins turns below us at the Kirkstall Lane end, searching for another wicket. Runs in hard to Bairstow. Bairstow back, plays it well into a gap on the onside. Another single is gleaned from this persistent and disciplined Australian attack. Again, it was a bit short, and he got over the bounce and played it wide of Pattinson. 4 for 174. Bairstow and Stokes 7 apiece. So Stokes now sorting himself out here as the field adjusts, and again, no bat pad. They're sticking with this ring field of 3 slips, gully, backward point, mid-off, mid-on, mid-wicket, and fine leg. Cummins around the wicket again to the left-hander. The last ball of this over. He's armed with a new cherry. He runs in, and Stokes hits it in the air. Where's it going? Safely over mid-wicket. He got a bit on that, but he could have easily been caught. It was a top edge. He swiveled into the short ball, and it went high over the head of Travis Head running back. It fell safely, but it was a shot that had everyone, oh, look out. But it landed beyond the field.
Well, I think that's the value of having a nice bat.
Yes, a nice thick edge.
It goes quite a good way over mid-wicket. Like an old school bat with the thinner edges, that just goes straight in the air.
Yep. 2 runs to finish off the over, but maybe a little fortuitous in the way he played at that, and got enough on it to clear the field. 4 for 176, and we're back with Hazlewood.
Nathan Lyon's back on.
In his customary position around point. So Hazlewood, who has been immaculate in this game, he bowled wide in the last over. Hard to believe. But most of the time he's zeroing in near the off stump. He runs in to bowl to Bairstow. Bairstow's back, and he kills the ball off with a short back lift jab away on the offside at Wade, who comes in from mid-off.
You can see, though, when it's moving now, it's doing it slowly. As much as the pace through the air will be the same, they'll be around 85 to 90 miles an hour, you can just see off the pitch it's just doing it a lot slower than it has done throughout the game. So that just gives England an opportunity. Just got to really fight for 20 overs. I'm not saying it's going to be easy then, but the ball will end up doing it less and less. And doing it, you'll always get seam movement with the new ball, but it so far it's done it slowly.
Hazlewood comes up again. Bairstow drives and drives well. It's going out to the boundary at extra cover for 4. He reached out to a fuller ball and stroked it wide of Wade. Oh, it's like the 4 that's won the game, the applause that's drawn from the crowd. Bairstow to 11 with that nice little counter-attacking blow, and England on to 180.
That's a glorious shot. Again, Johnny Bairstow's just allowing the ball to get to him. That's the key. You know, all these expansive players, even when they play aggressive strokes, just let the ball get to them and then just use their timing. They time a cricket ball as well as anybody. So they don't need to throw their hands at the ball. Just hold the shape. That was a glorious shot.
Bairstow into double figures.
Just got to be careful, Bairstow. Sometimes when his beans start going, he starts going after deliveries that aren't quite there.
Hazlewood again, Bairstow forward, his edge this along the ground, down to backward point and the third man boundary. There was no chance, and again the crowd roar with appreciation. 2 4s in a row, and that's come from nowhere because England have struggled to score a run. It wasn't 100%, but that'll do.
Halfway
Thick
there,
edge.
Jim. Halfway there.
Tick them off.
Living on a prayer.
Keep ticking them off. 4 for 184.
Well, again, it's a controlled shot. He lets the ball get to him. It's full, and he plays it with good technique. Top hand taking over. Now just get back into your bubble, Johnny.
There are runs to be had today if you can get in.
Yeah, Hazelwood will offer that drive again. You know, he's not just suddenly going to go from his length, he's going to continue to bowl full.
Hazelwood moves into Bairstow. Bairstow down the leg side, off the pad. Tickles it quickly to fine leg. He wants a second run. He's going to take it on the come and throw. That is brilliantly run. 2 leg buys. It just went gently down towards fine leg. And as soon as he saw where it was, he turned and rushed back. That's the second time that he's picked up an extra run.
Well, Bairstow's got a great opportunity here. He's 15 from 23. He's come out of the traps and started nicely. Just get back. Every delivery is a different event. Just get back into your bubble, and now once you get a bit of bat in it, yeah, you sprint between the wickets and you try and scamper for 2, brilliant, but then realise there's going to be some good balls that you're going to have to defend as well.
4 for 186. Hazelwood goes Bairstow back and knocks it down, kills it off into the gully and to Khawaja. More support from the crowd. This place is bubbling with this wonderful atmosphere. It's sort of building up in the way it did on that extraordinary day in 2005, Michael, at Edgbaston, on Sunday at Edgbaston. Remember that?
Yeah, and just a reminder, they're still only halfway there, England. That's the problem. Almost bubbling up too soon. A couple of partnerships, key partnerships. This one and then the Butler one.
So we've gone an hour and 30 added. Last ball of this over. Hazelwood comes in and bowls with a bounce outside the off stump. Bairstow lets it go. We're going to have a cup of tea or a cordial, I think, as the drinks are coming onto the field. Now, the commentary continues on 5 Live Sports Extra and the ABC, digital radio, online and via the BBC Sounds app. But Radio 4 long-wave listeners are leaving us briefly for the shipping forecast. And I'm leaving too. I'll leave you with it.
Well, yeah, the drinks are out. The shipping forecast is taking place. A decent start for England. Key wicket of Joe Root, but this partnership so far has just manoeuvred itself nicely. Both players look like they've got the bit between the teeth, their eyes. You can tell it with Johnny Bairstow. He strolled out there, he's got that body language as if to say, give me this, I fancy a bit of this. Good afternoon, Agus. You all right, having a cake?
I was caught unawares.
Having a pie? What you got?
An anxious pork pie.
Pork pie?
A nervous pie. Oh, sorry, I thought I was on now.
Is it nice?
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
It's just been fermenting nicely in the engineer's fridge.
Oh, very nice.
For 3 or 4 days. Can't beat it. Well, first hour completed. Root is out. New ball taken. Stokes 9, Bairstow 15. I like the way he's being busy. Like that.
I think this pair need to be there at lunch, and then we assess.
Yep. I mean, it's still a huge.
It's a monster.
It is.
Monster. I think Tim Payne will probably be talking to his bowlers now, and for what we've seen this morning, James Pattinson with the old ball looked a threat. Bowling full, bowling to hit the stumps. And I think that's what the message will be to his seam bowlers. Just remember what we've done throughout the whole game. It's just been very consistent on and around off stump. Bring the batsman forward. Play a couple of drives. Well, you're allowed to play nice strokes. And they'll feel that they can create enough opportunities. But we've seen extraordinary things this summer. And
we have.
You just never know. Ben Stokes, he's some cricketer, Bairstow. You can see from his energy that he walked out. It's just with Johnny, when he's hit a boundary or two, you just think, go and get back in your bubble. Realise there might be a good ball the next ball and you might have to defend it. Butler in next, he's got, he needs runs. Both Bairstow and Butler need runs.
Yep. Adam and Ross Bennett just wanted to email, say we're loving the coverage. Sat at our Greek hotel room. The gripping content has incapacitated us, resulting in us not being able to leave our room despite beautiful weather and a plethora of beaches on our doorstep. Keep up the good work. Come on, England. Well, Adam and Ross, if you're ever going to leave your room, I think you might be driven out of it now.
You are a
I can hear them running out and
muppet.
door slamming, and they're gone. They've gone to the beach. Morning, Jeffrey.
Morning.
How are you?
I'm very good.
Good man. You enjoying this?
Yeah, there's just a chance they can win. They just have to play well. Look, it's not easy, but that's what records are there for, to be broken by special moments, aren't they? You just have to play well. They played rubbish for 2 days. We've had a chance to win the match easily. We made a mess. Now you've got to rectify it. And
Just welcome back our long wave listeners. Good to have you. You've missed a drinks break, that's all. And no actual play. Jeffrey's joined me the first time today. You'll have enjoyed all the blocking going on for that first half hour, Jeffrey. When you 4 maidens.
well, they've built their side around that of Australia, to be honest. They're leaving Stark out, who's a match winner, a wicket taker.
Here's Cummins bowling the first ball after that drinks break, and Stokes is nicely behind it, playing down to mid-off.
And if you talk to the Australian people and the vibe coming out for him, and deliberately, but there's no way you could say Peter Siddle, at this moment in time, his age and pacey ball, is a better wicket-taking bowler than Mitchell Stark. Nobody who knows cricket would say that, but they've deliberately paid him in 2 tests, and you saw yesterday, they bowl and keep it tight, don't
Very
they?
tight.
And they like that. The captain likes that. That's what he wants. That's the plan with the coach, and they're trying to play Stark because they think he might get wickets, but he might leak a lot of 4 balls.
Cummins runs in hard, bowls outside the off stump, and that's flashed away down into the shadows of the new stand, down to the west stand. For 4 runs, he just threw the bat at that. It was short and wide, and that could have gone anywhere, frankly, but it's gone, on a line of about 4th slip, I suppose. And up they were. There's some Dickie Birds down there with their white caps and white umpiring coats on. They're up there signalling 4.
I don't think he's bowled quite as well today. I don't think he's bowled as full and disciplined a line. Yesterday, even he's such a great bowler, we all have, hiccups and we can't play well every day. You see, that was a real short one. OK, it didn't go where he wanted, but it gave him leeway to throw the bat at it.
Cummins again. Stokes waits. Is there? He bowls as full this time. Oh, he hit that hard. And in the air for a while, down to mid-on. But my word, that flew out of the middle of the bat.
Ben Stokes into double figures with 83 balls, which is the longest for England to get into double figures since Ian Salisbury in Calcutta in 93. It took 104 balls to get into double figures.
You've got to admire what he's trying to do in the state of the game, to not get out like last night. He didn't want to get out, and he knows how important it is not to play bad shot. I think a player like him, you don't want him to be overcautious, though.
Cummins bowls, and Stokes tries to work that for a single into the leg side, but instead the ball rolls up to mid-on.
If
no run.
you were a bowler, if you were bowling at him, you would be thinking he's more dangerous if he's playing a shot or 2, isn't he, than blocking. And certain other players, you say, oh, he's going to be there all day. And I know what you're going to say about me. I know before you say it. If I'm in there, someone like that, you're going to say, oh, he's not going to get out easy. But there are different types of players. He can take the game away from you, like Johnny Bairstow, fairly quickly, can't he?
Oh, yes.
Upset your rhythm of the bowlers.
Cummins bowls a bouncer. Stokes underneath it. Over the shoulder it goes. I think there's got to be sort of busy. I mean, Bairstow's busy anyway, isn't he?
Careful and sensible.
Push and run. Look at those singles. Just keep it ticking along. And the bowlers start looking up at the scoreboard and go, oh, crikey, they want 110. And then suddenly it's 90. And
then you start to just get a little bit...
Exactly. But there's still a long way to go to that. 169 more needed.
I think the good thing that I've watched carefully of the new ball, Jonathan, it hasn't done much. You know how important it is, a second new ball. Talking here, and Glenn was behind us saying, second blue ball good, third new ball, no.
Cummins bowls to Stokes, who turns that away into the leg side. And there's going to be one, is there? Yes, Bairstow's quickly coming back up to this end. 2 runs taken, 192 for 4. The crowd greet it like someone's hit a boundary.
It hasn't done anything. Watch really carefully. Not much has swung for any bowler, much, except that first day, obviously. But when the sun's out, it hasn't really seen much.
Nope.
And you can sense from the crowd, I did this morning, what I do talking to as they do from when you park your car, come in, and I watch them now when runs come.
there is a feeling that, we just have a chance here, you know. This is Headingley on a good day. Sun shining, dry pitch. Yeah, I'd like a bat on that. There'll be a lot of people who've played at Headingley like me and say, that's not the worst Headingley pitch I've ever seen. I'd like a bat on that.
Best of the series, this one.
And
comfortably.
So you've got to take and look at it insensibly, but a little positively. And don't get too carried away, like you just said. You've still got a long way to go, but it's not impossible.
Bit of movement up there on the first floor of the newsstand. People sitting down. It's distracting Bairstow, who's now got Hazelwood coming up the hill to him, and he bowls outside the off stump, not by much. And Bairstow shows really good judgment there and allows that to go through. So, 6 overs into this new ball now. And Geoffrey's right, it really hasn't done very much at all. I mean, it's obviously gone through with the extra pace and bounce that you would expect a new ball to do, but certainly not much swing or movement off the seam. And you look up and you see this lovely pale blue sky. And that goes a long way to explain it.
Oh, you'd like the batting. You're in God's country, sun shining. Get out there.
Here comes Hazelwood again. There, and he bowls, and Bairstow drives him. He took some pace off it, but he's still going to go for 4. Up they get on the West Stand. Fabulous atmosphere here at Headingley. And Johnny Bairstow there thumped that down the ground. I'm pretty sure Hazelwood got a left hand to it, taking some pace off. He did.
Listen, I'm shouting Yorkshire. They want Johnny to succeed.
They do. It's a big innings for Bairstow, this. 19 not out. 196 for 4. Good shot, that. Slips are ready. Hazelwood on his way once more. Moves in. Bowls to Bairstow. He's going to get another one here. Working it off the pads to long leg. Runs the first one very quickly, but this horrible return came in there from the long leg fields.
He was under pressure.
He was.
He was thinking Johnny might be going for 2 here.
197 for 4.
Oh, I'd like a bat against you on this, Jonathan. It's a cracking pitch from playing medium fast bowling.
It was a cracking pitch here in 1982, Geoffrey. Didn't help you, did it?
I reckon Andrew's got a false scorebook there.
There might still be your little footprints heading off towards the pavilion, actually. There, if you go and look carefully. That sign of you dragging your bat behind you.
Were there many people watching?
Full house.
Full. And they missed me.
And they were quiet. They were silent. There were no shouts of Yorkshire then, I can tell you. 197 for 4. Hazelwood from round the wicket comes in, bowls to Stokes, who's hit on the pad. Trying to work that into the leg side. And there's no run. Email from Tim Worthington, previously a teacher at Uppingham School. I'm shortly to start the school year working at Blundell School in Devon, which of course is where Victor Marks went. I'm currently diligently doing my homework, reading through A History of Blundell School by Mike Sampson. In his records, I found a note about the 1978 annual cricket tournament between Blundell's, Ampleforth and Uppingham. We talked about this a bit yesterday, didn't we, with our view from the boundary guest who was from Ampleforth. Up comes Hazelwood, and now he's driven again by Stokes this time. I don't think that'll go for 4. The crowd's willing it on. They've taken 2. It's only a short boundary down there. Nice shot again, though. Positive stroke, but controlled. 199 for 4. Where's this email going? It saw Blundell suffer a heavy defeat to Uppingham thanks to a, quotes, tremendous spell of seriously fast bowling by a youngster.
No, you've never bowled fast in your life.
I wonder if you can remember the match. Well, I don't know.
That's Adam just putting it on our captain.
I hadn't read that through.
Yeah, put you in a good light.
Seriously, fast bowling. Well, there you go. Here's Stokes outside the off stump. No stroke. The crowd love it. Tension mounting. I think the applause is just a sort of a release, isn't it? A release mechanism.
I just got the feeling, look, we're not stupid. We know that it's a tall order. It's going to be the 10th best score, batting fourth to win. But, you know, there are some pitches, some days when, they ain't going to get them. And there are others where, you just have a little bit of a sniff of a chance. And I just, can they do it? They've got some talent. Talent is not a problem in many of the England players. I think what has been lacking for a while has been the concentration and patience in many of the innings. Is that fair?
Totally fair.
There's
Absolutely
a lot of them
fair.
are very talented. If I was speaking to them in the dressing room, the first thing I had to say, what I'm going to say to them, you are very talented players, some of you. But sometimes you just don't think. Your concentration lapses. And in Test cricket, you're going to, on the whole, score a bit slower because there are better bowlers. Is that fair?
Totally fair, Jeffrey.
And so you're going to have to bat a bit longer. You can't just cream it round the park all the time.
Nope. Change of bowling. James Pattinson's back from our end, Kirkstall Lane end, and he's going to bowl to Bairstow with 3 slips. And he's on his way, running down the slope. He's there and he bowls full. A slice drive, a cry of catch it, a despairing cry of catch it from some Australians as that ball runs out to deep point. Man there, 200 comes up.
Look at him on the Western Terrace.
Unbelievable. A standing ovation for England's 200. Unbelievable, it really is, in the bright sunshine.
Joe Root should look at that. He should really look at that. When England play well, the public are behind them.
Yeah.
He cannot expect them to stand up and applaud when they play poor cricket. They bat rubbish the other day. He's miffed about it. I seen a couple of his interviews last night.
Yes.
It wasn't clever, was he?
But it wasn't an interview.
Well, he wasn't nice to everybody. He was a bit shirty.
He goes Pattinson wide of the off stump this time.
Yeah, I think
this morning. To be fair to Joe, I said it as he came off. I said, well played, skipper, and had a bit of a go at me. But I mean, he was in the zone. You know what it's like? You know, his eyes. You know, so I take absolutely no offence.
But when you play badly, they feel let down. They want England to win, like we do as players.
Of course.
And when they play really badly, you have to accept criticism. That's what it.
Afraid you do.
But when you play well, look at them, how they're up for them.
What you do as a player, though, you do sort of focus that criticism outward, don't you? You've got to find a release for that as well.
The best way to answer them is to play well, isn't it?
Here's Pattinson, bowls to Bairstow. It swings away a little. Bairstow lets it go through, and that went through low to the wicketkeeper Payne. We've got Lyon loosening up out there and the offside, so a change coming. Hazelwood's bowled all morning, apart from a couple of overs before the new ball down there, so maybe he's due a rest.
That might be interesting. Johnny gets to him. He might get Johnny out, but he might plant him in the stands a couple of times.
He might.
He's not one to block spinners.
158 more needed by England to keep the Ashes alive. They've lost 1 wicket today. It was Root. He didn't play a great shot. Maybe this was pressure got to him, but it was an error. That very good catch by Warner at slip. Pattinson bowls down the leg side. It's 4 leg byes, I think it is. Mr. Wilson there he's got a very stately leg bye signal, and quite a long one too. Still waving his arm there as that flew away off the pad. Very fine.
That's the difference with people like Johnny Batt and Stokes. Since they've been together, they scored runs, haven't they, Andrew? How many they scored? Quite quickly. The scoreboard ticks round, and the initiative, without doing anything silly, gets away from the bowlers quite quickly.
Partnership was 46 and just over 9 overs, so 5 and over.
Yeah, they're not the people to hang around.
Nope. Still the 3 slips, but you can hear some shouting out there now from the Australians, just urging each other on. 205 for 4. Pattinson on his way, bowls to Bairstow, who works out from outside the off stump out towards his wicket there. A little bit of a flick. Crowd like it again. Richard Thompson's travelling through Yorkshire on my way back to London after a great weekend in York. The trains are disrupted. We're crammed into a small 2-carriage regional train from Retford to Huddersfield. Your commentary's keeping me sane, giving me hope. Well, keep going. There's a bit of chaos on that.
Yeah, but why is he leaving
today?
Why is he leaving God's country on a Sunday for London? Ask him that question, Jonathan.
I thought Huddersfield is in. Where's Huddersfield is in Yorkshire, isn't it?
Yorkshire.
Yeah, exactly. Off goes. It's a wide, and it's lots of wides. It's gone straight through Warner. It's going to be 5. Horrible ball from James Pattinson, hurled it wide. It went straight through David Warner at first slip, who, to be fair to him, wasn't expecting it. And into the boundary, 5 wides. Is that a sign of a bit of pressure? Listen to the crowd.
Absolutely, isn't it? They're feeling the pressure, the bowlers, so they're striving to bowl faster, harder. And that's when they lose it a bit.
Well, it's spectacular. It really is, this atmosphere. Absolutely love it. And this is Test cricket.
50 partnership of 58 balls with 5 fours.
Oh, 50 partnership of 58. All the pressure, the caution and everything. It makes so much difference to the middle order when you have a platform up front.
Yep.
What Denley, 2 Joes did yesterday, it makes so much difference. If you can get some openers to give them more platforms.
Last ball of the over. Patterson bowls, and there's another couple here for Bairstow. Flicking it off his pads. Out to the west stand. Up they get again, booing the fielder in a pantomime style. Well, it's wonderful. It really is. There's 40 minutes to go until lunch. England moving along with good momentum at the moment. But be mindful of those wickets, of course. Ooh, 1:47 more to run. I'm going to finish my pork pie, Geoffrey. Was rudely interrupted. And Isha's coming in after thoughts from you.
A pork pie at 12:30?
Yep.
Oh,
Best time of the day.
Not good for having a run, is it, that? Oh, great cricket. Wonderful cricket. Yeah, it has. It's been exciting, exhilarating. After the first innings batting, this is great. You can tell the crowd are up for it.
I might have been tucking into a bagel, Geoffrey, before I just came on.
What, with your figure? It's fantastic. I don't think you've had too many bagels.
It happens when I get nervous. I start to eat more and more. So...
Were you any good at batting?
I was good at digging in.
Oh, we like you today and yesterday. I'll be all right.
I wasn't very good at scoring runs with that, Geoffrey. I could,
just stay in. We'll get the runs at the other end. That's what Wilfred Rhodes and George Herbert Hurst said when against Australia. George Herbert apparently said to the great Wilfred Rhodes, stay in, we'll get them in single. And they did.
Well, this has been incredible, actually, the last half an hour. Finding runs freely is Hazlewood. Bowls to Stokes outside the off stump. Lets it go past through to the keeper. So that target, 359.
I know we follow England. We want them to do well. Yeah. It's a mainly England audience. But I was talking about Australia. They want to be thinking, hang on, we've got to get some control back here.
Yeah.
Talking earlier, I think many people have said Tim Payne and his backroom staff, and Olanger, the coach, are preferred people who can keep control from rather than Stark. Well, I would play because he's a wicketkeeper, and they've lost control, or the initiative's been taken away by Johnny Bairstow and Ben Stokes. They've got to get it back now.
Hazlewood past the umpire, bowls. Stokes on the back foot, punching to the offside. No run.
They need 4 overs or 5 where hardly any runs. Put the 2 batsmen under pressure and see if they make a mistake, because the ball, I said with Jonathan had a lot of new balls in his life and I've faced a lot. That new ball has done nothing. If that's an odd ball's just done a tiny bit, but for me, a batsman, that's nothing. You know what I mean? For what I've seen all my life and faced all my life, you'll be queuing up for that. If that's the second new ball and that's all it's going to do, I'll be saying, yes, please, I'll have some of that. So they must get back, stop the scoring, put more pressure on the 2 batsmen who like to attack and see if they make a mistake.
Hazlewood around the wicket. Stokes, who's back in his crease and defending 2 mid-on, no run. And every single shot, whether it's a defensive shot, whether it's runs, is being cheered by the English spectators in this ground here at Headingley. It is a gorgeous day for cricket. About 30 degrees, I believe it is, Andrew. And the sun is out. It really is just wonderful to watch.
Well, if I bought a ticket like them for today, I'd be clapping every ball, because on Friday afternoon, when England were batting rubbish, they thought they wouldn't be here. So now here they sat in the sunshine, having a day's cricket and loving it.
Stokes taps his bat down. Hazlewood approaches the crease, bowls to Stokes, who's off his hips, clicking that out to fine leg for a single. Goes to 18. The score now for England, 213 for 4. And 146 more runs to win for England to stay in this series. That's what is at stake today here at Headingley. England need to win this game to stay in the series. Australia, if they win, if they bowl England out, they need 6 more wickets, then they retain the Ashes.
And the other thing, there's still 1 or 2 whose careers are on the line. Well, the next test, will they get picked? Joss Buttler hasn't made any runs for a while. I love Joss. I saw him at my golf club with a couple of the other lads on Tuesday, was it? But, he hasn't made any runs.
Bairstow leaves outside the off stump, goes through to Tim Payne, the bowling of Hazelwood.
I mean, Joe Denley did brilliant. Under pressure. Yeah, under pressure for his place. Next test, he hadn't made many runs, averaging 23. He came up with the goods, didn't he? He stuck it out there with Joe Root, got England back in the game, gave him a platform. That's what we've all had those moments that have played when it's tough. It's about pressure. It's not about your talent. It's about mind. Have you got a strong enough mind to go out there and do it when, you might get dropped? And so, it's a big game in more senses than just the Ashes. It's individually a big game for some people.
Hazelwood past the umpire, bowls to Bairstow outside edge as he's squared up. It squirts out in front of point, chasing after it. They'll come back for 2. They've run well together, these 2, as the throw comes in from Nathan Lyon. Bairstow to 26, 215 for 4. England require 144 more runs. James Faulkner emails titled Ashes Marriage. So it's not James Faulkner of Australia then. James, a proud Yorkshireman, and Shona, my lovely Australian wife, are listening from neutral territory in Hong Kong. We timed our weddings to coincide with an Ashes test in Australia. We have a 4-month-old daughter listening with us who can't understand why Mummy and Daddy are yelling at the radio at different times.
Oh.
Well, James, thank you very much for tuning in. Australia. Well, they got the breakthrough with Joe Root this morning. Everyone talks about them obviously wanting to pick up early wickets, but since then there's been a partnership between Bairstow and Stokes, 2 very experienced players, and 2 players who are desperate to stay in this Ashes series. What can Pattinson do then? He's at the Kirkstall Lane end, pushing away now, bowling right arm over the wicket to the left-handed Stokes. He bowls now. Stokes misses one. It goes past the outside edge through to Tim Payne. It's got 2 slips and a man positioned at 4th slip. There's also a gully in position. Sorry, no, that's it is. It's kind of a backward point, but he's now just moving back into his position. So extra cover, mid-off, mid-on, deep square, and a man down at fine leg as well on the boundary as Pattinson receives the ball from Usman Khawaja at mid-off.
You see, we would have put the backward point at 3rd man, saving 4, an edge, and we'd have left the gap at cover, encouraging him to drive.
Pattinson bowls to Stokes, who's firm in his defence, playing down the ground. You enjoyed that, Jeffrey?
Yeah,
that was solid, wasn't it? Gets right in behind the ball.
People who've not played Test cricket, with all the pressure when you're out there and the fast bowlers racing in, sometimes they knock your block off, it was get you out and knock you out. Sometimes it's not just a flashing cover drive, or it's when he bowls his best ball, short of a length and fast, and you'll get right behind it and you'll block it. You make your statement to him, hang on, I'm in here, I know what you're bowling, I can play you. Just that right behind him, good defensive shot, makes a big statement to bowlers.
Pattinson pushes away. Here he comes now. Bowls outside the off stump. It goes through to Tim Payne as Stokes leaves. As Pat Cummins is just rehearsing a bowl through.
I was saying yesterday, I don't think Lyon is as big a factor without Stark. Stark running outside off stump, bowling left arm over. He's had that a lot of test matches. You only know those big size 15 boots a few times down there.
Yeah.
That's going to loosen the turf a bit. And then he can spin it.
Here comes Pattinson. He bowls wide of the off stump. Stokes cuts through the covers. This will travel to the boundary in no time. In fact, it reaches there right now in front of the Western Terrace. Again, everyone on their feet and signalling the 4 in time with Joel Wilson. So 219 for 4. Now England, they require 140 more runs.
You saw me shouted, or heard me before he hit it. As soon as I saw the length and the width, I saw Stoke lift the bat 4. Yeah, I know he's not going to miss that. I just watched the length and the line.
Well, he's been super disciplined, hasn't he, Ben Stokes? It took him 74 deliveries to score his first boundary.
He was a little bit too cautious.
Yeah, well,
because that's not quite him, but I respect what he was trying to do and admire it.
he's on 22 as Pattinson bowls
Small.
on his legs. He whips that out to deep square for a single. Goes to 23 now, 220 for 4 and 139 more required. And I'm with you, Jeffrey. He did look cautious this morning as well. It was almost as if he didn't want to play anything outside the off stump because of the shot that he played in the first innings, which was so wide from James Patton. It was a horrendous shot.
No, you couldn't reach it with my mum's sweeping brush.
But in his mind, I felt like that was becoming a thing until Johnny Bairstow's come out, and I feel like Johnny Bairstow coming out has just freed him up a little bit.
It helps you. It's helped me by Alan Knott batted with me when I ran Derek Randall out in at the Nottingham Test against Australia, and it frees you up. It's somebody at the other end. Johnny's done that for him.
Pattinson past the stumps to Bairstow. Again outside the off stump. It's an easy leave. He allows it to pass through to Tim Payne. So
Beautifully played.
9 overs of this new ball has been bowled, and England are going along nicely at the moment. 220 for 4. And Stokes on 23, Bairstow on 26. This partnership now 61. Anthony Larkin emails, listen to Team S in the Maldives on our pre-moon, honeymoon before the wedding. That's amazing. Do people do pre-moons? Well, it's obviously a thing. I should have done that. Would you like to go snorkeling? Asked my fiance. No thanks, the cricket is getting very exciting. Well, I can just imagine you're in a dreamy place, clear waters, but to be quite honest, this is probably a bit more thrilling, isn't it, Glenn, as he steps in for
Jeffrey.
The lovely Jeffrey.
Yeah, afternoon-ish, afternoon listeners. It's quite tense, isn't it? The crowd's enjoying every run, every moment. And since the Australians have taken this new ball, I think they've just thought, we've got to make use of this new ball.
Yeah.
We've got to take wickets. They've tried a little bit hard. They've probably gone searching a little bit more, and have leaked quite a few runs. The way they started was perfect. Just keep it there. I haven't seen Johnny Bairstow leave 3 balls in a row. So if they can just get it there, build up pressure, he'll play a shot that they won't want.
Change of ends for Cummins, who's in now to Stokes. He pulls it away into the boundary. It's gone for 6. That is a wonderful shot. Short ball from Cummins. He just swivel pulls it, and it flies away. 226 for 4 now. The first 6 of the innings. Stokes to 29 and 133 more runs to win, Andrew.
Yes, now 60 of 8.5 overs with the new ball.
That's so often the case, isn't it? The older ball can sometimes be hard to get away. The new ball, yes, it brings opportunities to take wickets, but because it's harder, you can also score freely. As Cummins runs in hard now. He's past the umpire. Stokes on the back foot, punching to mid-wicket. No run. He's got a man out at deep point. He's got 3 slips, first, second and a fourth. Extra, mid-off, mid-on, mid-wicket and fine leg. Are you happy with this field, Glenn?
Yeah, it's okay. I think they're looking to play their shots, these two are stroke makers, and this new ball, it's hard. It's coming off the back quicker. With the pitch itself, it looks like probably the best time to bat on in this match. It's coming on nicely. There doesn't seem to be any sideways movement, as there's been pretty much a whole test match at the moment. So, yeah, England's got to make the most of it.
Stokes on strike as Cummins bowls. Stokes on the back foot, push into the offside. They'll come through quickly for a single. These two know each other extremely well. There is a good communication there. They've been running well between the wickets. Stokes to 30 then, 132 more runs required. I just asked you off air, at what point do Australia start getting nervous? Well, I think they're a little bit nervous now.
Oh, you're always a little bit nervous. There's no doubt about that. You need to have that to be on edge. But they just have to get back. There's still 132 runs for England to get here. One ball can turn things around massively. One ball, pick up one of these two, all of a sudden it sways back into Australia's favour. The nerves are back in the English dressing room. But while they're building this partnership and building it quickly, the pressure's back on Australia, and Australia have to find a way to stop the scoring. Stop the scoring out there will bring a wicket.
Bairstow bat high in the air as Cummins bowls short. He ducks underneath it, goes through to Tim Paine. Yeah, I asked you about that because it's very much an Australian mentality, isn't it? You're never out of the game. You look around and Tim Paine's got the luxury of an incredible bowling unit that you know you can toss the ball to, and they want to take the ball and want to get the breakthrough.
But this type of the pitch, you can't force it. And I know it's a new ball, and the new ball's been tough, and they probably think we have to take wickets with this new ball. But it's just about getting the ball in that area, build up pressure, no easy runs.
Cummins has gone up for the appeal. It's struck Bairstow. I think he's hit it actually onto his hip, and it's fallen onto the leg side. So I'm not entirely sure what was he
just keep the crowd involved in there. Yeah, just.
Well,
it actually it seamed back nicely.
Yeah.
That wobble seam just came back, but didn't quite. It was sort of between the thigh pad and the pad. It was clearly going over and probably down leg. But you can feel a little bit of tension out there.
Cummins just wipes a bit of sweat away from his forehead before he runs towards us now. From three-tiered stand, he bowls to Bairstow leaves outside the off stump. Tim Paine has fumbled it. It's gone down to fine leg. I'll pick up a bye for that. As the throw comes in, England require 132 more runs. 228 for 4. Ian Woodfield has messaged in, I am currently listening to TMS while sat at a pool bar on my holiday in Rose in Greece. I am so transfixed with the action that I can't move, like the players in the dressing room. When someone approaches 100, I really should move though, as I can feel the sunburn taking effect. But I'm prepared to take one for the team. Come on, England.
Well, if he moves, they lose a wicket.
Yeah, no, Ian, stay firmly put.
It's funny, isn't it? Is there any other sport where people think, OK, I have to sit here? I know in the change rooms the players are very similar.
Did you used to do that?
I wasn't too fussed, but I know Steve Smith and guys like that. Yeah, there's been some where I think some of the South African players, all the toilet seats had to be up in the change rooms. Yeah, all little superstitions and things like that, but... it's amazing what you tell yourself. Like what we do out here has absolutely no effect on the game in there, but in our mind it does.
It's all that energy that's building up towards the game. Anyway, change of bowling. Nathan Lyon, yes, we're going to have a change. Tim Paine has decided to bring the spinner on. He's going to be bowling from the Kirkstall lane end. Harder ball means a bit of extra bounce. He's got a deep square and a man at almost like a long leg coming in about 30 metres. Short leg and a slip of the men in close, and a short mid-wicket as well, as he comes in to bowl at Bairstow. Bairstow on the front foot driving to cover, no run. Now these two, I think, got after Nathan Lyon at Lords, but that was in a situation where they were trying to set up the game. So completely different circumstances. It will be interesting to see how they play. There is a man down at long on for Bairstow as well, as he taps the bat down. Shuffles his feet ever so slightly, now still in his crease. Comes through and lap sweeps. He'll come through for one as that man at long leg has sprinted around to his right. Pat Cummins there dives to stop the ball. He manages to scurry to pick the ball up and throw it in before they come back for 2. So 130 more to win. Andrew?
Extras have crept up to 30, by the way. There have been 16 in this partnership of 70 so far.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of leg buys there, and that last one, the buys from just didn't carry through. So the pitch is a little up and down, but nothing that has affected the batsman yet. And we see Nathan Lyon, he took the wicket to go past the great Dennis Lilly. He's now in third position, leading wicket takers in the Australians of 356 wickets.
It's got a long way though to go to catch you, Glenn.
And even further to go to Warnie.
As Lyon bowls outside the off stump to Stokes, who casually just leaves that through to the keeper, coming forward and just raises his arms as it comes through. Lyon with the ball already back in his hands as He's got a Ringfield on the offside. He's got David Warner at slip, short leg, 2 men back on the leg side. At square and fine leg is Lyon is around the wicket. So that was close to the outside edge as it goes through to Tim Paine. Well, it's been given not out. I think Tim Paine was interested there, and so too Marnus Labuschagne.
He's still got his hand up, Marnus.
Yeah.
So that actually turned and bounced a little bit. So good signs. This change now with Lyon coming on, this is very important.
Oof, it's a good delivery, a bit of turn.
Oh, he missed it. Only missed it by about 3 or 4 inches. That was good turn and good bounce.
I think it was bat pad. He hit the pad with his bat as it came through, pitching on about middle and off as he rolls again outside the off stump. Stokes forward in defence, and again it just misses the outside edge through to Paine. So this is going to be an interesting battle. Getting lots of revs on the ball. That has turned a mile.
That is turning big time. So there's one positive for the Australians. There's a little bit of turn in this track. It might be not as quick and doing as much as it has been previously for the fast bowlers, but there's a bit of turn.
Stokes, the left-handed Stokes, sets up once more on the back foot this time, driving to extra cover. To huge applause from the crowd. He's been able to get through that over. 229 for 4. Bairstow 27, Stokes 30. England need 130 more runs to win to stay in this series. Glenn, a few more words from you, and then it will be Simon Mann.
Yeah, no, Nathan Lyon took his 356th wicket there earlier today, which put him in a third posie. It's been on 355 for quite some time, and sometimes when you get that wicket, you can relax a little bit and just get back to bowling. That over there, some very good signs from Nathan Lyon. He's landing the ball well, turning it nicely to Ben Stokes. So from the other end now, we've got Pat Cummins by the looks of things. He just needs to keep it tight, no easy runs. And Andrew, you've got something.
Nathan Lyon, just 291 balls to go from his 355th wicket to 366, 48 and a half overs.
Hopefully it'll be a little bit quicker for the next one. Simon, you agree? Oh, you disagree.
He's a magnificent bowler, and he's a potential trump card for Australia this afternoon. We've got 2 right-handers to come and another right-hander at the other end as well. Broad, of course, is a left-hander, and Leach as well. So he's got some left-handers to work with. 229 for 4. It's tense at Headingley. It's exciting as well. It really is. What a great day to be alive. It really is. Sun shining, full house, game in the balance. Here is Cummins. Bowls to Bairstow. Bairstow's in behind that, playing defensively into the offside. It goes up to mid-off and there's no run. A solid defensive shot that draw any applause probably on any other day of the year. It's a big one.
No, exactly right, and I think it's going to be like that for the whole day, or for the rest of these runs, or the rest of these wickets.
That new ball now is its 12th over. Saw yesterday how the older ball reversed, so that might be something for Australia to look at. It was a bit early for the reverse yet.
Yeah, only about probably 30 overs. 35 overs.
It might be done overs by then, the way these two are going. They stay in. Cummins goes in and bowls to Bairstow, flicks it into the onside. Pugnacious shot, but straight to mid-on. And there is no run. And Australia clearly will be feeling a bit twitchy now. There's no doubt about that. But they've still got those 130 runs in the bank, and you've got to think about the pressure on the batting side as well.
Yeah, as long as the scoreboard's ticking over, the pressure's released a little bit off the batting side, and they've scored those 70 runs quite quickly. If they can now stop that scoring, make them work for every run, then the pressure goes back up.
Cummins is in his 20th over. Past the umpire now, into bowl to Bairstow. Bairstow gets a wide one, which he allows to go by. It's one of those he might well have had a go at that one. It felt in his hitting zone, but he did not have a go at it. Comes down the pitch to do some gardening. He's 27 not out. Stokes is 30 not out. Root out for 77. When did you start to feel in that match in Antigua in 2003? When did you start to think, this is starting to go wrong?
When they're about a bit over 400.
They needed 418.
They were 7 down. You just thought anytime one more wicket, and then you could pick up the next 2 quite quickly. So, when it's 4 wickets, it's
Cummins bowls, bouncer. Bairstow's underneath. It was one of those low bouncers. Bairstow had to get underneath that, really underneath it. Otherwise it would have hit his backside or back. Taken by Payne. One of the features of this morning's play has been the extras as well, that have just been frittered away by Australia.
30 altogether in the innings.
How many
16 today.
16
How
runs.
many leg byes?
15 leg byes, nine wides, 5 byes, and a no ball.
There's some people that say leg byes shouldn't be counted on the score because the batsman hasn't, the bowler's beaten him. But, I'm happy with them the way they are.
Cummins bowls to Bairstow. Bairstow turns it away straight to square leg, and there's no run. The only thing about getting rid of leg byes, and I can see your argument for that, is it just makes that the umpire's job a bit harder again. Do you know what I mean? That if they run through, and if they get it wrong, if it's a leg bye or not, sometimes they do, then not much damage done. But if the crucial moments and you're disallowing runs, you say, oh no, you didn't hit that, and then
no, exactly.
You get into all that. It just makes it more complicated, I think.
So I'm happy with leg byes. The one I'm not happy with is if the throw hits a batsman and they run through. Well, they generally don't run through.
Cummins to Bairstow. Bairstow fiddles at that one, misses it. Bit of luck there for Bairstow. Drawn into playing at it. Didn't have to, but you just get drawn. Tight line from Cummins, a bit of a way movement through to Payne. 2:29 for. That was a good over from Cummins.
Better over. Took away the scoring and then brought that false shot. So that's what the Australians need to do. And Bairstow just has to be aware that pick the right deliveries.
15 minutes to go until lunch. Lyon's going to bowl again. Leslie Hodgett emails, I'm sitting by a beautiful fishing lake in Lincolnshire watching my husband Nick having a go at some carp fishing. We're listening to the exciting match whilst waiting to see which comes first, carp or England win.
Hopefully carp. I'm not sure if you're sitting all day there not catching any fish, but I guess if England win, you'll be happy out in this sunshine. Where else would you rather be? Are you a fisherman, Simon?
No.
You're not?
No.
You're a city boy?
Yep.
Okay.
2:29 for 4. Yeah, I like lots of people around me. Here is Lyon bowling, and forward goes Stokes, pushing into the onside, picked up that short leg.
There we go. They're quiet around the Australians should try. While the crowd's quiet, they know the things are going okay. Well, we've got a little
problem.
Hold up.
Yeah, problem at the Kirkstall Lane end. Someone moving or something reflecting. Possibly it's a sunny day, and Stokes has pointed something out. Might want a window closed, or anyway, just going to sort that out, or try to sort it out. Umpire Joel Wilson at this end. Bairstow pointing it out to Lyon as well.
Oh, these batsmen, they can pick up every little thing.
I think it must be the sun glinting. Perhaps they just need a sheet over. Ben Stokes is happy now. Whatever it was, it's beneath us. It's hard to see. He's put his thumb up to say, well, you've identified the problem. And on we go. Lyon round the wicket. 2 close catches. Bowls to Stokes. Stokes is forward. And another ripper from Lyon. Turn and bounce. But it was just away from the line of the stump. So Stokes didn't have to push out at it.
Though he did. just about.
He did
sort of followed it, didn't he?
He didn't need to follow it, but he did, Turn and bounce, and that's the danger. And there's still a problem, actually. Fourth umpire, Tim Robinson, is trying to sort it out.
There's someone just above the side screen here. Is that what they're worrying about?
I can't think it would be, but he nearly tripped over the covers down there, Tim Robinson. No, that's of an England player, that is. The person sitting above the sight screen is an England player. Is it Paul Collingwood down there? Difficult to tell. You can just see his back and his cap. Well, Stokes is... he's still gesticulating. I don't know. It's hard to say anyway. Tim Robinson's sitting on the hand roller now down there, the fourth umpire.
Might be a reflection of someone's watch, the sun. Who knows? A glint of something. And once it gets in your mind, it's hard to get rid of it.
Can be a bit distracting. 10 minutes to go until lunch. Lyon into bowl to Stokes. Stokes is back. And that was a bit short from Lyon. Stokes defending. Again, he didn't have to play at it, but playing right back and knocking it away. I think he was just trying to flick it into the leg side. No. Dropped onto the pitch. No run. rather bitty line over. Goes in now and bowls to Stokes quicker, and Stokes brushes this away off his pads through backward square leg for a single. Every run is going to be applauded. 230 for 4. And Stokes is still making his point.
Still not happy.
Yeah, he's still not happy about something. And you're right, it can just distract you as a batsman. It gets in your mind, you lose a bit of concentration. He's on 31 now. These two came together at 160 for 4. So they've added 70. 70 for the 5th wicket, giving England some hope.
159 started the partnership.
Was it? Oh, right.
71.
Okay, 71. I wrote down 160. Thank you, Andrew. A sweep shot from Bairstow. Good connection. 4. Between deep backward square leg and deep forward square leg. Hit that hard. Timed it very well. One of those brutal Bairstow strokes. He's on to 31. 234 for 4. England require 125 more runs to win.
Good thing you hit that.
Yeah.
That was probably going on to the stumps, missing the pad, but looks like Bairstow's the aggressor out of these two batsmen.
Lyon bowls to Bairstow, is back, and it goes in the air, ballooning over the short leg fielder, and they get a single of some sorts. Is this going to be leg by, or is there an edge on that?
He's just asking, did you hit that? I'll give you the run if you want it. No signal.
No signal.
Just a little. Well, the Australians, they haven't had any luck here. But England are up to the challenge so far.
Well, I don't think he did hit it, did he?
I don't think he got anywhere near it.
No, he didn't.
So take that run back, please.
That was one of your leg buys, that was. It turned a long way.
Yeah. If I'm batting, I want, and they've made a mistake, I say, oh, yeah, I might have just got a little bit of edge on it. Just every run is like gold. But, the batsmen, very rarely do they say, oh, actually, no, I didn't hit that when they've run through one or two.
He went to short leg, he'd be saying, I didn't hit it. Well, he'd have reviewed it. I mean, it turned a long way, it turned and bounced.
Yeah.
It seemed to miss the inside edge by quite a distance. It might have been back clipping the pad. It's like those two noises. 235 for 4, so another run at the end of the over. It means Bairstow is on strike. 124 more to win. I mean, clearly Bairstow against Lyon is the better option for England. Keep Stokes away from Lyon as much as possible if you can. Here is Cummins charging in just before lunch. Bowls to Bairstow's back in defence, dropping it onto the pitch. And Cummins steps forward to pick up, and there is no run. I think England probably have had as good a morning as they could have hoped to have had. Well, I mean, they've lost one wicket, but I mean, with a new ball, you'd think it's bound to be one, really.
Well, the way it started, there was 4 maiden overs, and then Joe Root got out shortly after with only sort of 3 runs added to the score. But since then, it's pretty much been all England.
Back with Cummins. Bowls to Bairstow. Bairstow gets a bouncer, which he ducks underneath. Collected by Payne. I think, realistically hoped to have had, I think, obviously, in a perfect world, there'd be no wickets down from the start of play, but
8 minutes to go to lunch. If England get through without losing another one, they'd be very happy. If somehow Australia could jag one more wicket before lunch, they'd be happy going into lunch. So very important little 8-minute session here.
England this morning have scored 79, is that right, Andrew?
76 partnership, 79, yes, there was 3, wasn't it?
Yeah, 203 you required at the start of the day's play, so 79 for 1 in the morning session.
Sorry, Andrew, I don't mean to be stealing your time on the radio.
Cummins bowls, and Bairstow gets one outside the off stump. Bairstow avoids it. Taken low down by Payne in front of Warner at first slip.
Well, so long as you get your maths right, that's fine.
Yeah. I'm sure you'll be on top of it straight away if we don't.
That's fine. That's fine as well. One of the reasons he's here. One of the many reasons, actually.
You got any obscure stats for us today? The most catches by a fieldsman in a single position, with Warner's taking how many, 6 catches at first slip?
Greg Chappell took 7 in an Ashes match. Here is Cummins bowling, and Bairstow's back defending and Half stop by Cummins, pushing it up towards mid-off, and there's no run.
Was that 7 in the 1 position?
Greg Chappell's wasn't. It's one of those ones that we're not always sure of where the fielders were. But last year at Trent Bridge, Cahill Rahul took 7 catches at second slip.
Okay.
So I'm trying to find if any of the others. I don't think I'll be able to confirm it 100%. But if any of the others who've taken 7 who will take them at first slip. Stephen Fleming got 6 at first slip in one go.
It's quite unusual for so many catches to go to first slip. Cummins bowls to Bairstow. Bairstow in behind that one as well, calmly. Walks out towards square leg to compose himself. The ball goes up to mid-on, and there's no run. But Warner has caught superbly in this match. It was an odd dismissal. Those who weren't with us earlier, Root came down the pitch and missed it. For a moment it looked like a missed stumping, but he got an inside edge onto his pad. It went over Payne's head, over his left shoulder actually, and Warner dived away to his left from slip to claim the catch behind the wicketkeeper.
No, it was a good reflex catch, wasn't it? Good instinct.
2-3-5 for 4. Cummins bowls. Bairstow gets one outside the off stump, which he leaves. That's through to Payne. That's another maiden from Cummins. That's back-to-back maidens from Cummins. So he is doing his bit for his skipper, keeping the pressure on, drying it up. Having said that, England have probably got their eye on lunch now. And
just get through.
Consolidating and being there at lunch. There was that flow of runs in Australia for 20 minutes or so. Just could not stop England scoring. It was any which way. It's a bit like the first day of the match when Woakes and Stokes were bowling and Australia was scoring very freely. There were things like fives where the ball was going off the bat into the boundary, and we saw something similar. We saw a wide that went through the keeper's gloves, went down to the boundary for a 5. 2:35 for 4. Lyon to Stokes. Now this is a challenge clearly for Stokes. He's just dropped Pattinson back mid-off a few paces. Deepish mid-off. Lyon goes in and bowls to Stokes. Stokes is forward, turning that into the onside. Picked up at short leg by Labuschagne. And there is no run. Australia have got 4 saving, 1 on the offside. And mid-on, 2 men back on the leg side. A short leg and a slip. Warner goes down, hands on knees, looking for his 7th catch. Lyon goes in and bowls to him, and Stokes turns that away. Well, he's a bit unlucky there. It hits Labuschagne at short leg, and he can't get the run. It was Lyon just losing his line fractionally, drifting onto the pads, and Stokes, I think, would have very much liked to signal there.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, 12 of the 14 wickets have fallen between first slip and keeper for the Australians.
Lyon bowls to Stokes. Stokes is forward, squeezing it back down the pitch. Picked up by Lyon. There's no run.
Is that right, Andrew? So they've all been 12 or 14 all edges or faint edges.
Back with number 67, Nathan Lyon. England, Bairstow's come down the pitch. Just pass on a comment to Stokes. I don't think they're looking to waste time, and there will be another over after this one. Lyon goes in and bowls to Stokes. Stokes head right over it, plays carefully back up the pitch. Picked up by Lyon again. Every dot ball there being applauded.
11 actually.
11. So Payne's only got 4 catches.
Payne's got 5.
5, sorry.
2 bowled and the 1 caught short cover.
Yeah.
Lyon to Stokes. Stokes is right back into his stumps, dropping the ball onto the pitch, short of Labuschagne. Short leg.
Sorry, I was giving Warner 7 catches. Maybe I'm sort of a little premonition.
That could happen.
Or whether I was going off to 7. You said previously was the record.
Yeah, to correct your maths onto.
Right, changing the field. Short leg to Silly Point now. It's right under his nose there, Labuschagne at Silly Point. Lyon bowls to Stokes. Stokes is forward. It goes on the banks to Labuschagne. Sharp reflexes, but it was definitely on the banks. Went very quickly to him. And that's a Lyon maiden. 2:35 for 4. We will have time for 1 more over before lunch. England need 124 more runs to win. Stokes has 31. Bairstow has 32. Email from Dave. My 6-year-old daughter Gwen and I are building a rose arch in the shade in our back garden under a blistering sun in Matlock. Gwen asked me who's commentating. When she heard Glenn McGrath, she exclaimed, "Same name as my granddad. Is he a nice boy?"
Well, it's not for me to comment on that, Simon.
I think you've become a nice boy.
But when you first met me, I wasn't a nice boy.
No. He says, so Glenn,
Yeah.
what would you tell her? For what it's worth, I always thought you were.
Well, there you go. Thank you very much.
It's funny, actually, and we had Mitchell in the last game, Mitchell Johnson, and big, nasty fast
Mean
bowlers.
fast
And
bowlers.
actually, absolute delight to be alongside.
Oh, well, thank you, Simon. Enjoying it up here, and goes to show it's only the batsmen put out this thing that all fast bowlers are scary and mean, and they don't want to talk to you. They're not very intelligent.
Oh, Labuschagne's going to bowl with his leg spin. 1 over before lunch. Just try and snaffle a wicket.
See what Bairstow's going to do.
Yeah, Labuschagne goes in, bowls to Bairstow. Bairstow goes back and forces it away for a single, just short of Pattinson at a deepish backward point position. So it means Labuschagne against Stokes now. 236 for 4. Bairstow on to 33 with that single. And England require 123 more to win. I mean, most quick bowlers over their time sort of lose it on the field, don't they? Something gets there.
Well, you're pushing yourself to the limits the whole time. Well, the batsmen, all they do is have to stand there with the bat, and then when in the field, they're just standing at first, second slip doing nothing. So that's...
So you can understand why every now and again the smoke comes out of the chimney.
Oh, yeah. It happens. Yeah, try not to, but occasionally you've got to let the pressure out somehow. But, it's been a while since 12 years since I hung the boots up, so the pressure's building.
Labuschagne bowls, and Stokes comes forward and clips this into the onside, up towards mid-on. And there is no run for Labuschagne. 2 close catches, short leg and a slip. And then 4 saving 1, and then 3 out, 2 on the leg side. Labuschagne round the wicket, bowls to left-handed Stokes. Stokes tries to brush this away, strikes him on the pads, a yelp out there. It was going towards short leg, diving Wade there. I think it came off the pad.
He has got a couple of wickets, like Labuschagne. How many, Andrew?
9 test wickets, is it?
9 test wickets.
Labuschagne tries again, bowls to Stokes. Stokes turns this through the hands of the short leg fielder along the ground. Again, I don't think there was a chance. It went very quickly. And Stokes gets a single, just bursting the hands of the short leg fielder Wade. 237 for 4.
As we know, he's got 1,000 runs in the championship as well, but he's also got 19 wickets for Glamorgan this season in 10 games.
Well, there you go. Well, we've got 2 balls left in this session. If they can get through these last 2, I think you might hear quite a bit of noise, similar to Edgbaston.
Absolutely. England scored 81 runs in the morning session. The loss of 1 wicket. Labuschagne over the wicket, bowls to Bairstow. Bairstow pushes this away, is angling it, opening the face of the bat. Goes to Pattinson at backward point, and there's no run. And it might be what Australia need, actually, is the lunch break, is to regroup.
Yeah, the last sort of 4, 5, 6 overs, they've gone back. They're about building pressure rather than looking to take wickets.
Labuschagne bowls, Bairstow forces and gets a single out to deep cover. Big gap there. Boundary rider, who is Harris, sends in the return. And a huge roar, as you can hear in the background. Standing up in the West Stand, and all England supporters standing up and applauding that morning's work. Root going early, but Bairstow and Stokes giving England a real chance here. 238 for 4 at the break. What a test match we have in prospect this afternoon. It's been a fascinating game, gone one way and then the other, and then it felt decisively to Australia. And England have fought hard from 15 for 2. And at lunch, they walk off with a chance of victory, a definite chance of victory. But Australia, they are not out of it, not by any means. But well played Bairstow and Stokes. Australia make their way off after a rather chastening morning. Stokes is 32 not out. Bairstow is 34 not out. And again, to underline, 30 extras as well. That's helped England's cause. Root out for 77. Caught by Warner off line. And Australia have now been in the field for 96 overs. And that is a factor as well. 4 frontline bowlers, 3 pace bowlers doing the job rather than having the 4, as England have. Robert emails us, sitting on Bournemouth Beach, listening to the gripping commentary and feeling very nervous. I think everyone is, Robert. listening using my wife's phone, who's trying to have a conversation with me whilst I'm nodding and strenuously trying to show no emotion as I listen. Hopefully she'll fall asleep so I can concentrate. Well, it's going to be a long one. I mean, we've still got, a good 2 hours cricket. If England take it towards that victory target, it's going to be about 2 hours or so, something like that. Australia obviously will be hoping it happens a little bit quicker. 6 balls away from victory, Australia. But England right in this. How many do they need at lunch, Andrew?
121.
121. It's incredible position they're in, really, when you consider they were 15 for 2 yesterday after being bowled out for 67 in their first innings.
Yeah, sometimes you think because the game was so quick, it was in fast forward, that it actually, third day pitch, and now today, potentially against the fast bowlers is nearly the best time to be batting on it. So if this was late day 4, day 5, it might be up and down a little bit more. But yeah, from 2 for 15, the way the two Joes batted really sort of got England back in here, and then Root and Bairstow and Stokes today, the way they've batted, they've shown intent. It was like Stokes is prepared to hang around while Bairstow's the aggressor, and they combine really well. That new ball, I think Australia tried to take wickets rather than just keep bowling the way they had, and runs came quite quickly. So I think they'll regroup at lunch, and they'll come out with a very clear game plan. Just get back in there, make it as tough as possible for them to score. Bairstow, just see how patient he's prepared to be. Yeah. I reckon he wants to score. He came out with intent, which is what you need. If they're not scoring, the pressure builds, and this game could be over. So England well in this. Australia 1, maybe 2 balls away from being well and truly in it as well.
238 for 4 is the score. Cummins has bowled 21 overs, 5 maidens, 1 for 50. Hazlewood's bowled 24 overs now, 2 for 57. Lyon 26 overs, 1 for 57. Pattinson 9 overs, 6 maidens, no wicket for 38. And Labuschagne 6 overs for 16. Becky Millard, I'm listening to TMS, sitting in the garden, sewing name labels on number 2 son's clothes before he goes away to school next Sunday. There's a combine harvester in the field and number 1 son on the lawn mower. Quintessentially English Sunday. How exciting is this match? A little kiss as well. Well, it is. It's absolutely fascinating. It's riveting cricket, and perhaps we just need a little breather just to take it all in and relish the prospect of what is to come this afternoon. We're in for a belting afternoon. Just a reminder that the situation, England have never scored as many as 359 to win a test match in the whole history of test cricket, all the games they've played over the years. Of course, not every game they're set over 350 plus to win. And the Ashes are at stake as well. Australia, if they bowl England out this afternoon, retain the Ashes. So much at stake. England looking for 1-1, or it could be 2-0. And it's all going to begin again at 20-2. And we can't wait, but I'm sure everyone else is just looking for a bit of a breathe and a break and have a bit of lunch and just think about what is ahead today. Is it time for Jonathan? It is.